Tonight on Facebook Live, we come to you from the campus of Queens College in Flushing, New York. This is the 2022 CUNY Community College Men's Soccer Championship game, featuring the top two seeds as the Queensboro Tigers, the defending champions, take on perennial power, longtime rival, two-seeded Borough of Manhattan Panthers. And with that, good evening. Welcome to our coverage. Alongside Carrie Gluck, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. This matches up the last two champions in the CUNYs, Queensboro, the defending champs, and BMCC, unfortunately, did not play soccer last year either. So they're playing for the first time since 2019 when they beat Queensboro that fall. Well, BMCC lost to Queensboro in the regular season about a month ago, Carrie, 4-1, but BMCC feels they are finally ready to challenge and rise up against the Tigers.
Well, according to their coach, they got off to a slow start over the season, but they feel that they're playing much better. In that game, they got off to the 1-0 start. It was only a beautiful goal for the equalizer at the half, and then Queensboro took it away. But they are not strangers to one another. They have played in this championship game at this point 6 times, each of them winning 3 of the meetings. So this will really be a great match. The difference, as I see it, Queensboro has players that have been in this match last year, where the Borough of Manhattan Community College have players that have not been here. They are rather inexperienced in this championship match.
And for the Tigers, they bring back a terrific player. Last year's tournament MVP, John Pavana at midfield. He has been terrific once again this season.
And he's having a great year. Second leading scorer right now for Queensboro, 5 goals, 2 assists. He runs the show at the midfield. He's very tactical, very smart, very savvy, has got a great shot from outside, capable of doing an excellent job off of the set pieces. He is certainly going to be a player that I think that the BMCC is really going to have to keep an eye on.
And for the Panthers, amidst the load of questions they faced after missing 2 seasons without soccer, was who would be in goal. But the big answer of late has been Abdul Mumin Seydou, who has really answered that question and then some nationally.
He has stepped up huge. Seydou is having a great year. He was the D3 goalkeeper of the week. He's also been the CUNY player of the week. He's made key saves against Nassau, 12 saves, against Suffolk, 17 saves, and only kept them in that to lose by a score of 1-0. He is very smart, very good, and he may have to step up real big and steal and maybe save a goal or 2 for BMCC.
Queensboro trying to go back-to-back. These two longtime rivals meeting for remarkably the 7th time in the last 8 seasons. The Tigers and the Panthers from Queens College coming up next on Facebook Live.
2022-23 CUNY Athletic Conference Championships are presented by Health First, health insurance for New Yorkers, the official wellness sponsor of CUNY Athletics. The Hospital for Special Surgery, #1 in the U.S. for orthopedics, is proud to be the official hospital of the CUNY Athletic Conference. CUNY University Student Senate, providing our students the platform to shape the City University of New York. And Hometown Ticketing, the official ticketing provider of the CUNY Athletic Conference.
Here comes the CUNY Community College Men's Soccer Championship game from this brand new turf field. It looks spectacular here at Queens College, and Queens gets a chance to host it here in Flushing. Ralph Bednarczyk alongside Carrie Gluck. Let's introduce our two teams and their starters. Well, the 2-seed BMCC, they'll run a 4-4-2 with a box in the middle. Ademola Alpasanwa will start at left back. He's played a lot of forward with Mitchell Mendoza, Abdul Endoy, and Alam Bodrul, particularly on restarts, very dangerous. Karoma and Alodi at holding mids. Alkila and Parbusing will be the center attacking mids. And then look out for El Haji Adigay and Mohamed Nazir. Adigay is the only player back for BMCC that ever played for the team. He played for the squad back in 2019, was away from school for 2 years, but has made his return, looking to go back-to-back in his own career for 10-year head coach Modu Sek in his 8th season coaching BMCC. They went 6-6 through the regular season, and they will be in the upcoming Region 15 tournament, which then decides who goes into the national tournament that will be taking place this year in upstate New York, up in Batavia. For the Queensboro Tigers, they'll run a 4-3-3 alignment. 5'5" freshman keeper from Jamaica, New York, Eric Molina Bonilla, out of Newcomers High School. And he has started the last 4 matches, and they found him in early September. The right back, Maldwin Aldaz, has been the late riser recently. He's won the right back job, also due to injury. Kevin Velez out left. Rashid Sharif, the center back, with Luis Angel Ovando. And then look out for Juan Flores with great speed at holding mid. Sumba and Pavana both returning starters. Ventura up top with Gallardo out wide right. And Salil Eldin will be the target man up top for Queensboro's head coach, Aziwo Ayafor, who is a 2008 graduate of this Queensboro program in his 6th season. Last year's CUNY Coach of the Year. For the Tigers, trying to go back-to-back, and they come in having won 3 straight. They will also be in the upcoming Region 15 tournament. So, Gary, number one, we talked in the open, experience. Queensboro has it, certainly when you look particularly in key spots like Sumba and Pavana, Sharif in the back, Velez. They brought back their entire back 4. They do have a key injury, which we'll talk about with Mike Chacho. But the Tigers, from that perspective, how much of a difference maker do you sense that is, that the Tigers have played in the championship game while BMCC, almost everybody in their team has not played in something like this?
Well, I see that as being very important. I think that's a definite advantage to Queensboro, having not only those players that are key back, but having the experience of playing here. And, you know, one of the concerns for the borough of Manhattan was that they don't want to get off to a slow start. And if their players are a little nervous and they're not quite confident yet and haven't gotten into a rhythm in the game, Queensboro may very well be able to take advantage of that early in the match. And I think if Queensboro gets a goal early, it could be a real big advantage.
A year ago, the Tigers were in that sort of mix, too, against the Bronx, where they almost gave up 2 early goals, Carrie. We were on the broadcast before the Tigers, after the first 15-20 minutes, were able to still be 0-0 with the Bronx. They eventually won it last year in what was a little bit of deceiving 3-0 score, and something Aziwo Ayafor very much reminded his team about. So the Tigers and BMCC coming up in the CUNY Community College Men's Soccer Championship, coming up on Facebook Live.
Busy.
62 degrees. Fortunately, the threat of rain won't hit us until 8 p.m. or so, when it's 31% chance. So far we are in the clear here in Flushing. Very light wind as well. This is the first time Queens College is hosting this event. We hope many more. It's a new field that was just installed about a year ago to the day. Queens College played their entire 21 season last fall on the road. It is here, and certainly a welcome addition to the metro area to have a field this nice. Queensboro in the black on black, BMCC the orange and navy. 2 teams met up about a month ago, September 20th, here nearby in Bayside on the campus of Queensboro. While that was a 4-1 Queensboro win, A goal by Ademola Apasanwo, who is starting today at left back for BMCC. He scored in the 27th minute before a great run set up by Anthony Gallardo in the 31st minute. 5 minutes later for Queensborough tied it, and then Queensborough got 3 goals in the second half. But talking to Modou Sek, he thinks his BMCC team is much better since then. They've reshuffled the lineup, and then they have that man in Abdul Mumin Seydou. And in that game, Molina Bonilla was not that busy. In fact, the shots were only 14-12 carry. It was just finishing for Queensborough, and as well as their possession advantage as that game went along. We'll see how that will be a theme tonight.
Well, I think that's going to be very key for Queensborough, possessing the ball, build up coming out of the back, and using the width. They have great speed on the outside, Ralph. If they can take advantage of that speed on the width, that's going to be very dangerous for the BMCC defense. In addition to that, I see a little bit of an advantage at the midfield for Queensborough, having their 4 players going up against the 3 players from Queensborough, rather, who plays with 3 in the midfield, and BMCC has 4. They have the man advantage.
Queensborough opening up with possession. Here's their left back, Kevin Velez. The back full return for Aziwo Ayafor this season. That's been the steady portion, as he calls the strength of the team. But just in the last game, Queensborough dealt a big blow in losing sophomore starting right back Mike Chacho. That entire back foursome has been together for a long time. This is a ball played to the top, and then it could not be finished off. That's a nice ball delivered just to the very top of the 18, and the man making the run here for BMCC in El Hadji Adi Guy, 6 goals and 3 assists.
You know, that's the guy you want making the run and getting that ball served across the box. Hadji Guy is very dangerous, especially in the 18. They're going to have to be very close marking on Hadji Guy. Queensborough is really going to have to make sure that they are taking good control. That is not a great goal kick, a very dangerous ball that was almost played right to the feet of Hadji Guy at the top of the 18.
And he's the last guy that perhaps would be nervous for BMCC. El Hadji Adi Guy is the lone guy back for BMCC. He played in 2019 and was an impact player, starting as the right forward or the right mid in a 4-4-2 at the time for Modou Sek, and delivered well with 3 goals, 2 assists. And then was out of school as things changed with the pandemic beginning and the quarantine period, and decided to come back to school in the middle of August, and then eventually deciding that he would play soccer again. Dawson comes by Bodrul. Adi Guy, as he is bottled up. And in any event, so the big guy that's out for Queensborough is Mike Chacho, sophomore right back from East Elmshurst, New York, and was a returning CUNY All-Star. Could get honors again this season, and they really miss him. He is down with a bad ankle injury, and so much so, not just his skill, but Aziwo Ayafor and the team voted and went out and they bought stickers that have the number 2, and they're wearing the number 2 on their jerseys, kind of below around their right shoulders, to show that Mike Chacho is with them on the field tonight, and he isn't able to be here. He has a big surgery coming up. That's an added element as this restart played in by Queensborough. And it'll be a corner, an early one for the Tigers. So they'll set things up.
They put a quick corner in, looking to play short. Referee whistled it.
Kevin Velez, the left back, initially wanted to play it short, and now they will set it up for John Pavana. So last year's tournament MVP had a goal and an assist. His service to the back post, as he was near half-volleyed, opportunity with the head ball, having to slide out and play that ball was a BMCC defender. And on the follow-up, Velez will deal it back. Aldaz, the right back, to chip in.
The initial service by Pavana to the back post wasn't all that dangerous, but the second ball, that was dangerous, Ralph.
Rashid Sharif starting center back as he tried to play his man out wide. And for the Tigers, we've started to see their build-up started to take some form. Well, going into the year, talking to Aziwo Ayafor about this season, he had a chance to look at different perspectives. Dennis Sumba goes wide as Sumba tried to find his wide mid making the run, and Anthony Gallardo.
That was an excellent ball played by Sumba on the diagonal to the back post for the weak side midfielder, making his run into the box. Very dangerous and almost could have resulted in a very positive opportunity for Queensborough.
Pavana. Sumba. Service across, and Adigai, the forward, checking back and handles it defensively. Sharif looked to win the next ball as it's shipped over his head, and we have the offside flag up. Well, both teams still feeling the effects of the pandemic coming into this year. Certainly as Ozzy of Queensborough thought it, first of all, was way better than 2021, still not quite back to normal. And this year, unfortunately, what slowed it down was their athletic trainer was not able to be on campus for the first 2 weeks of August. So they weren't able to process physicals for new players. First day of tryouts in August, they had just 12 for Queensborough, and that number didn't improve until August 16th, as we have a foul against the Tigers. Their first game was September 6th against Nassau, an excellent team, and they were not able to have any preseason scrimmages. So they started trying to play a little uphill.
And not terribly different. The Borough of Manhattan BMCC also struggled early on getting players cleared and getting physicals and getting them into school and so forth. I tend to think that that's quite common among many of the junior colleges, having the difficulty early on. And it's just a matter like Queensborough, who has experienced players and players who played last year coming back, who have the distinct advantage in that area.
There's Coach Aziwo Ayafor in his 6th season there on the left. Straight ahead, as we just saw, Michael Andriaccio, our center referee, doing the honors. Longtime Division I NCAA official. And for BMCC, they had 22 guys ready to go. Maybe for the Panthers, it certainly sounds like a big headline. Wow, they haven't played Carey since 2019. But BMCC, they were ready to go last year. And they had a full team back for Modu Sek as they take it out wide with Carlos Okilla. And Okilla can only send it in, no traffic in front of Molina Bonilla. And they got into August last year playing preseason. And then eventually, because there was a lack of athletic trainers in the New York area and people that were busy and being hired for COVID relief purposes, they started to have to cancel some games that they knew they wouldn't have enough guys cleared for in time with vaccine mandates, and then eventually the entire season had to be canceled in late August of 2021. So they had nearly a regular preseason, and then some of those players came back here for 22. Pressure on Alassane Karoma, very skillful holding mid for the Panthers, 6 in orange. And then up the line, Opesanwo, who's starting at left back tonight, can also play forward. Very dangerous player, and a little subtle adjustment made by Modu Sek of BMCC. Pavana with the ball win, checking it back. John Pavana. Pavana will continue, and then that was ball on ball. Fine challenge from the right back of BMCC to break that up, and that long run, that was Alam Bodrul that broke up a Pavana scoring chance. And up ahead, the Panthers with a fine breakup by Sharif.
Good defense at both ends of the field, Ralph. That was really well done at the far end for BMCC with Alam Bodril. He did an excellent job, and at this end of the field, again, Queensborough defender played that very well. Not getting a foul on the play, but yet clearing it all ball.
That's Mohamed Nazir that had the step before the window closed down by Rashid Sharif, 2-year starting center back for Queensborough. And Nazir, who's known for his work rate up top as a forward, true freshman from Brooklyn.
Sharif, a solid defender for Queensborough, was also a CUNY Player of the Week honors this past season. Showed why. He has great speed. You saw him recover, took advantage of the speed to be able to close down. Little flick head.
Molina Bonilla. What a story. Aziwo Ayafor, who also doubles as a physical education instructor on campus at Queensborough, found him in soccer class in September. They were still looking for a goalie at that juncture. Asked him if he's played goalie. He had some experience. This is Adi Guy with the shot blocked. And Queensborough the other way with Gallardo. And eventually, after some coaxing, Aziwo Ayafor had Molina Bonilla come out for the team. Got cleared September 19th, started against BMCC on September 20th, the very next game. How'd you like to make your debut under those kinds of circumstances? As Queensborough will have the deep throw, and Molina Bonilla ended up making 3 saves, playing the full 90. Pavana. And then Pavana Nazir dropping back well to break it up. And the Panthers have yet to really possess. Alam Bodru. Wide for Alkila. He is the 3rd member of his family to play for BMCC. Sharif with Adi Guy, and that's Rashid Sharif with a fine defensive play. And then Velez will send out. Into the 10th minute of action here at Queens College, no score. BMCC has been able to settle in a little bit better after Queensborough commanded possession in the first 3 to 4 minutes.
I think at this point, from what I've seen, Ralph, Queensborough is being too content with playing the ball through Pavana up the middle of the field, as opposed to opening up the game, getting the ball out on the width, and allowing Pavana to be able to run through from the midfield.
BMCC on the toss-in. 12-time champions here in the community colleges. They have been the most dominant team, particularly the last 20 years. As coming up with that ball in the middle of the field was Giovanni Ventura, the left forward out wide. They look to play in Gallardo wide right. And Gallardo taking off the ball. Sturdy defending from BMCC. And Abdu Endoy, the freshman center back, at 6'4" for BMCC. Now out wide, they try to find Adi Guy. And it'll be Molina Bonilla to pick it up with some assistance from Velez.
I like the counter there by BMCC. I thought they did a very nice job coming out of the defensive third of the field and getting themselves into a pretty dangerous situation and having the opportunity to possibly get a shot on goal. They did that quickly, and they countered very well.
Gallardo loses it, and there's just been one interchange carry, I think worth watching, with Salil Eldin that led to that run by Pavana. He's the big target forward for Queensborough. And now the Tigers committing a foul on the late challenge. So here comes a quality restart for BMCC. As we see Modu Sek played at BMCC, 1 year at Dowling College for John DeRico, reaching the NCAA Division II Final Four, then played another year 2011 at Mercy. Now has spent the last 10 years coaching his alma mater, one of them. But we have a player shaken up, and this is Tyrese Parbusing, freshman forward from the Bronx. And he'll get some medical attention. Played at the very small school, Evander Childs Campus High School. And he has been dealing with injuries after coming in last minute in August. That's the other aspect of a carry, too. When you miss a full season, not surprised to hear Modou Sek describe that a lot of nagging injuries for his players that have been playing catch-up from a fitness perspective to play college.
They haven't played competitively, perhaps, at this level. They come in, their fitness is not yet where it should be. And so with that in mind, it's not unusual or unexpected that they are going to encounter some nagging injuries early on in the season. And sometimes that may carry through during the course of the season because you don't get the rest once the season starts.
And BMCC is going to make a sub here, and Parbu Singh is going to get further attention. So James Bay is going to replace him. And James Bay, who can play some center mid. Here comes the restart, and the head ball won by Queensborough. Pavana trying to quickly start a counter. And he'll go to the speedy right back, Maldwin Aldaz from Brooklyn. Over the top he looks for Eldine, and that's swept away from Eldine by the center back Abdul Endoy. In the air again, Abdul Muscat Alati, 15 in orange, who was tasked to be the holding mid to deal with Sumba and Pavana in the middle of the field for the Tigers. Pavana. And then he was looking for Eldine to make the run further inside.
See, right now, Ralph, what I'm seeing is that Queensborough is very compressed into the middle of the field. There is a lot of room out on the flank areas. Look at the width on this near side that they are not taking advantage of. And they're pushing everybody, getting sucked into the middle, which is making it a little bit more congested and tougher for the midfielders from Queensborough to be able to find the space, because the flank midfielders are dragging their defenders into the middle of the field as well.
Delivery into the box as Nazir chases, and Nazir with his work is going to give BMCC their first corner of the night. So here come the Panthers, and will this be Alam Bodrul time? And it is. Bodrul has been precise in his services all year. The right back will go over to take this. He scored a goal via a restart for a BMCC. The finish comes from El Hadji Adi Guy. After James Bay had the initial head ball, Adi Guy is able to force it from outside the 6 across.
The little in-swinger is what created the problem. There's Bay with the header, deflected off the post and followed up by Adi Guy. And that was the rebound off the post that really kept that ball alive. Bonilla did what he could do to parry that ball over the crossbar, wasn't able to get it over, allowed the ball to hit the crossbar, bounce back right to the feet of Adi Guy.
Well, remarkable that the one guy that was on the team in 2019 scores in the final. Just about 3 years to the day. So in both meetings, BMCC has taken the lead against Queensborough. How will that factor tonight?
Well, Queensborough responded in that first matchup about a month ago, as you said, coming back with an equalizer before the half. I think that equalizer demoralized the BMCC side and allowed Queensborough to be able to put 3 more in the second half. The question now is, how does Queensborough respond at this point, giving up that first goal once again?
Queensborough continuing to possess the way they did to open up the game. And now we'll see if perhaps they'll remain in that discipline. Flores. That's a good find. Pavana trying to stay onside. Pavana drops it off. Flores. And then that shot blocked. Sliding over well for BMCC, and that has been Queensborough this season. Fine interplay with the initial entry pass.
And Pavano did an excellent job with a little heel pass to allow his teammate to be able to get the shot blocked by the defender on the ground. But again, it was a good combination play by the Tigers from Queensboro.
Dennis Sumba was the shooter as Sharif. And he'll be fouled over the back by Mohamed Nazir. So the goal for El Hadji Adigai. He is 4 years out of high school from Senegal. He's 7th of the season. Left-footed player. And he came back ahead of this fall to get his degree. And a guy that's always talking to his teammates and very active with the stock market. Probably not active recently, Carrie. I don't know if you've been paying attention. But
I have.
But he is now a mature guy. After 3 goals and 2 assists in his true freshman year in 2019. And here is Adigai as the target man. And before stepping into him, Queensboro with the breakup.
Adigai creates problems for defense because of his size, Ralph. He's got excellent height, and he's very thick, and he makes it very difficult for defenders to mark him. And I think that was part of the problem on that goal kick when he scored the goal. He got himself into a position where he wasn't being marked tightly, and he took advantage of that.
This is good news for BMCC. Back is Tyrese Parbour Singh as he replaces James Bay, who came on for a few minutes. Parbour Singh has great speed, might be the fastest on this Panthers team, and they have him up top along with Adigai. Chasing is Eldin, and Salil Eldin just loses his balance, no foul. So the goal in the 15th minute, it'll be unassisted for El Hadji Adigai. And certainly it's another hockey assist you can credit to Alam Bodril with a terrific service that caused a lot of havoc. Nazir. Adigai to check back. Adigai then trying to play it to the top of the box. Queensboro look for the counter. Late challenge there by Velez, getting the body of Alquila.
That may bring out a card. I'm not sure, but I think it might be well deserved. And as you see the tackle, that was a little from the rear and a little bit too hard for the referee who issued the yellow, and the dead ball restart. Now, over the last, I would say, 15 minutes or so, Ralph, I'm seeing a lot more of the possession right now by BMCC. They're taking over the control of the match, whereas Queensboro is not taking advantage of opportunities when they have presented itself, don't take advantage of getting the ball to the width, and I think that you're seeing BMCC win the battle in the midfield, outnumbering the Queensboro midfield 4-3.
Well, for Aziwar Ayafor, they have switched systems, and they're comfortable doing it in-game. Certainly keep a watchful eye on that. Pavana off the long kick. And then this is Ventura, and perhaps forcing it there. Giovanni Ventura, who is a freshman from Flushing High School, with a couple of goals this year, scored against BMCC, and earning the start in this championship game tonight.
Well, they say he's very aggressive in the final third. He likes to shoot, and he showed you there that he's not bashful. Ralph, he'll take that shot from 20-22 out.
Tigers this year started in a 3-5-2. Tonight playing in a 4-3-3. Has played some 4-4-2. And we'll see what adjustments that can be made there. And after an initial tackle, and the ball played ahead again, Adigai with some powerful dribbles through midfield, and it'll be a throw coming for BMCC.
You know, as a defender, and you see Adigai coming at you, he's like a runaway freight train. He's got great size, and he's running with good speed and has good technical control. He creates, again, a lot of problems for a defender.
So the offside flag up quickly just after the attempted throw. The Tigers will have it. Both teams know that they'll be playing somewhere on Saturday in the Region 15 tournament. Happy to see that there are 5 teams this year in the CUNY Community College level again, with LaGuardia Community College making their debut and their return to community college sports. They're located in Long Island City. That's great news.
Mm-hmm. It's always good to see more teams getting involved and being a part of the competition in this CUNYAC.
Yeah, last year there were just 3 teams in the CUNY Community Colleges, with BMCC sitting out as the 4th, and now LaGuardia rejoining sports here this fall. Transition opportunity ahead for BMCC. Adamola Upasanwo. That's the left back that is flying up ahead. And there'll be a throw coming for the Panthers as they'll make another substitution. As Mohamed Nazir will exit. This is Ibrahim Hussein. He's their 3rd leading scorer with 4 and 2 on the year. Last year would have been their center forward. He's a redshirt freshman from the Bronx.
Replacing number 22, Mohamed.
And it looks like we'll see if he goes in wide left or up top.
He's been one of the players that has been suffering from some injuries, but he's got a great shot, and I'm sure they're bringing him in at this point to have take advantage of his offensive skills and his shooting ability. Try to put a little pressure on the defense of Queensborough.
Well, here comes another corner for Alam Bodril. Panthers scored on their first of the night. Bodril. And this one, I think, sailing on him too much. Very light wind here in Queens. Certainly not what teams deal with over at the Met Oval, that for a long time here further in more central Queens has hosted this championship for the better part of the last 25 years.
Another corner kick. This will be the 3rd now for BMCC. Oh, they're ruling it a throw-in. I thought it was a corner.
Sumba. And the breakup by Alassane Koroma to keep it alive momentarily. As Hussein battles with Sharif. And great dribbling. That's a center back in Rashid Sharif, who gets it up ahead for Eldine. And then Eldine by himself. It's played back to Seydu. And with the game opening up a little bit, BMCC 1-0 and a goal in the 15th minute. Adi Guy checking back, and a good build-up for the Panthers as Hussein will hold it up. The holding mid, Abdul Muscat Alati. 15 in orange had joined the play. And a throw belonging to BMCC. They had 10 wins 3 years ago. Last time they played in 2019, including as the 2 seed, defeating Queensborough in a wild game 5-4 as they climbed out of a 2-goal deficit on that night. As part of the history between these two sides, this is the 11th all-time meeting between these two in the final. BMCC leads at 7-3. 7th in the last 8 seasons that have been played. As Flores checked it back for Sharif. He looked for Salil Eldine. And not many touches at all for the talented center forward for Queensborough, who's got 4 goals and 3 assists. And the other thing that really caught my eye from Aziwo Ayafor, that he has earned 4 of their 5 penalty kicks that the Tigers have had this year. He's been the guy fouled on 4 of them. That's just, it's not a stat in the box score, but it makes a difference.
Well, which really goes back to what I said earlier, Ralph. His size creates problems, and when defenders see him attacking, they don't stick the tackles, and they get caught and take him down with trips, and that's what's going to create the penalty kick. So that kind of that does not surprise me. That kind of a statistic with such a nice player up top who's got great size.
Adigai making the run down the middle. And the breakup, almost baiting that ball through, was Luis Angel Ovando, a sophomore center back out of Aviation High School in Brooklyn. And Queensboro trying to find it here. Aldaz, the right back. And we'll have a midfield restart for Queensboro. The shots are 4-3 BMCC. Queensboro's looks, however, have not been of any real quality. They're still looking for their first scoring chance. They'll put Kevin Velez over the ball.
I think Queensboro is also at this point, Ralph, gotten a little bit out of their rhythm. I don't see them maintaining the possession that I would have thought they might have started the game with.
Sumba with the ball win after actually Aldaz had the service. And BMCC handling it well in the back. Modu Sek saw that they were getting stronger and stronger, getting into shape. They've played the better schedule this year, Carrie. They took on Division II Mercer County Community College in New Jersey, ranked number 11 in the country in Division II of JUCO. That's partial scholarships, as we have a BMCC foul. And they had to play that game without the services of Abdul Momin Seydu. So they lost that game 5-0. They didn't have a natural goalie in there. And lost a competitive game September 27th against Nassau. Ball driven in and from distance, and Seydu able to climb the ladder.
They almost caught Seydu off his line on that one. He may have been out just a little bit too far. Wasn't expecting the shot, but he recovered very well, backpedaled, and was able to come up with that under no pressure.
Flores, Pavana, the engine of Queensboro. Juan Flores from Newburgh, New York, commutes from Newburgh, New York every day to class. Today I asked him how long it took. 2 hours. Left his house at 2, was here at 4 p.m. and getting himself stretched and warmed up. Said with a smile, though, certainly if they win, A, no traffic at night. B, it'll be a very happy hour and 20-minute ride or so up to Newburgh, New York.
Well, yeah,
that's in the lower Hudson Valley, folks. That's in Westchester County. Actually, is it Dutchess County? It's past the Bronx. It may be Dutchess.
It's
yeah,
above.
I think it's Dutchess County.
It's in the right near Kingston, Poughkeepsie area.
Yes,
Newburgh Free Academy.
Yeah, it is the Poughkeepsie area. That's Dutchess County.
And that just is a credit to his commitment and dedication to the team.
A restart from Maldwin Aldaz. As Queensboro gets some more numbers in the box. Ball to the top of the area. And BMCC with a partial clearance. Next ball in, Sumba. And Sumba just bodied off possession, and BMCC the other way. And with a lot of contact, Aldaz. And Aldaz very quickly up with it. Maldwin Aldaz tried to play it and nearly backheeled onto the path of Eldine. Possession remains for Gallardo. Then tried to find Pavana. And now a ball through for Adigai with just Sharif defending. And Sharif again got ball first with another clean wipeout tackle.
Sharif rose to the occasion once again. So that's a great matchup, Sharif and Adigai. That is going to be the classic matchup for the night, Ralph. And watch it again on the replay. Look at the nice defense by Sharif. He's doing an outstanding job defensively for Queensboro. And marking up, as I've said, on Adigai is not easy.
Aziwo Ayofo talking about how solid he has been, knowing the game at center back. He has been crucial to Queensboro's success. A day one starter dating back to last year.
And he's a converted midfielder going into the defensive role.
BMCC will go back to Endoy under the high pressure of Eldine.
Oh, that's a great ball.
Badrul finding Adigai, then trying to play it back to the 6. He had Okila making the run. And stepping forward is Velez, the left back.
That was a fantastic ball played again through Al-Haji Guy. And the run by Haji Guy was also excellent.
Sharif. Nice little touch by Gallardo. The check back for Aldaz. And Queensboro perhaps carry. What do you sense in terms of their patience here? They are playing quick. Perhaps a little bit too much direct. Trying to find Eldine up top.
Yes, I do believe they are playing way too direct. I think they could be a little bit more patient. They could be a little bit more conscious.
Well, here's the opportunity, and Saeed makes the save. Seydu making the save, making the turn. Anthony Gallardo sealed his man off after Pavana had the entry pass.
And what a great shot, too. But give credit to Seydu coming up with a great save. That was the first real good scoring opportunity for Queensboro.
A foul against BMCC. Anthony Gallardo stopped by Seydu, who's coming off of a 17-save performance, a season high, at Suffolk, who is the one, if not the perennial power in Region 15. Certainly Suffolk and Nassau in that Long Island Community College rivalry have been right there for a long time, as has Monroe out of the Bronx.
Yeah, but certainly Suffolk and Nassau, they go head-to-head every year for the bragging rights in Region 15.
A BMCC player shaken up. That's Adamola Opasanwo, great speed player. And he, along with Parbusing, could be the two fastest. He started tonight at left back, and Michael Andriaccio stopping the clock with 12:35 to go.
Oh, Opasanwo is the leading scorer for BMCC.
Now Michael Andriaccio will come over to the table, make sure that the clock is at the number that he wants it to be at. So we've got a 1-0 game. BMCC trying to go back-to-back as a program because they did not play last year or 2020, and to try to capture their 13th Community College Men's Championship, which leads CUNY. Queensboro, they're trying to make it to double digits tonight. They have won a total of 9. Ralph Benurchik alongside Carrie Gluck here from this beautiful new field at Queens College that was just installed late last October. So they're going to adjust the clock again.
Another stoppage for a BMCC player.
And now another BMCC player down, and perhaps again cramping coming up. It's a cool night, perhaps deceiving. Getting into that time of year, Carrie, when you coach your teams, you've got to hydrate even more than when you do in early September.
Hydration is so important, and so many players don't hydrate enough or know enough that they need to be able to consume water as much as they possibly can, especially the day before matches.
So a couple Panthers trying to get stretched out. And it's remarkable when you think of the bigger picture. These are the two dominant programs. Here's what we're talking about with BMCC 12, Queensboro 9. Since 2000, Carrie, only 2 community college championship games have occurred without BMCC participating. Last year, asterisk, right, because
Correct.
BMC didn't play, and 2011. That's it. So it was like divine right that they would at least be in the final. In this game for a very, very long time. Just here's the last decade. And to show you what it's been Queensboro that has been winning of late a little bit more after BMCC had a tremendous stretch in kind of the 10 years before that. And BMCC's history also quite remarkable when you look back at some of the past coaches that they've had, including Kenichi Yatsuhashi, who is right now the head coach of over in Thailand, a professional league, 3rd division in Thailand. He was coaching before that in Ghana. That's the job that he left BMCC for. He had built up a big reputation as BMCC was really dominating. Ball played in, and Seidu will come up with it right before Eldin had a chance to poach. And Kenichi Yatsuhachi was the one that took BMCC from a team that was struggling through the 90s, had really no wins of championships or any success to show for it until he took over. Out wide, Gallardo. Sumba. Maldwin Aldaz. Played it to feet. And then trying to turn and play Gallardo in was Giovanni Ventura. Bavana had the breakup. Now opportunity. This is Ventura shooting from the outside, and Seidu. Again, no trouble with these shots from distance.
No, I like the shot by Ventura. That was well taken, and of course, Seidu did his job in good position, had the good angle on the shot.
That's his 4th save of this opening half. Sharif. Nice turn there. Aldaz has been trying to get up the right flank and find space. And the good ball win by Aloteng. Karoma.
This is a nice change of the point of attack by BMCC. I think something that Queensborough could look to do a little bit more.
Karoma trying to make eye contact with Adi Guy, and Sharif will let it go out for a goal kick. As we'll hit the 35th minute tonight. 1-0, the defending champion Queensborough, who won against BMCC 4-1 in the regular season. They trail the Panthers here at Queens College. Eldin has it in stride, then the breakup. Ndoye, who has been with him step for step in that matchup. Abdou Ndoye from Senegal. He's been hurt much of the season, finally came back in the last 2 games, and he has been vital. Tall and lanky there, 23 in orange.
Ndoye has done a very nice job defending against Salil Eldin.
That's Eldin in the air with a head ball and could not redirect it towards target. And the Tigers quickly coming up with a toss in. And Mike Andriaccio will tell us the throw for Kevin Velez will need to be closer to the corner flag. Entry came to Ventura. Now Ventura to the end line and only able to play it kind of quickly. And he may have had more time than he thought. Seidu, easy save towards that near post.
Well, Ventura, I think, did a very nice job attacking the end line. I would have liked to have seen him look to try and play the ball across the box, perhaps, or lay it back for a trailing midfielder to be able to get the shot.
Sumba fell over the ball, and it cost him via the turnover. Sharif.
Sharif has just been a stalwart on defense right now for Queensborough.
The Panthers offside again.
Good call by the official. He was in the offside position and came back onside to be able to receive the ball, but it's still an offside call. Correctly done by the official. Well done.
Kevin Velez from Corona, New York. In Queens, Newtown High School. Juan Flores.
That's a 50-50 that they lost. And Queensboro should not have given away without a little bit more patience.
Well, advantage is given here. 2 passes earlier for Queensboro. And here's an opportunity for John Pavana. We saw him last year on a great restart. Caused damage to Bronx Community College in the final. Chance here to shoot or perhaps service. Service for Pavana. Eldine looking to bring it down, and he was open.
That was a great service by Pavana. That's a great opportunity. They've got to be able to do something more dangerous with that to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. Watch Pavana's service. And there's Salil coming in, tries to take it off the foot and just wasn't successful, but that was just an excellent opportunity for Queensboro to be able to get the equalizer.
Salil Eldine, 4 goals and 3 assists. Playing as the target man. Across by Sumba, and again for Eldine, and couldn't get much on it. Aldaz stepping forward, and then a side volley is wasted. We'll get subs for BMCC now late into this first half. And good news for BMCC, 18 returns Adamola Opasanwo. So perhaps it just was cramping for the speedy left forward or left back. And also coming in for the first time, number 9, Lucas Amato.
Queensboro, Ralph, has had a couple of successful opportunities attacking the end line in these last 2 possessions that they've had. And I think that if they can just do that and become a little bit more patient and attack the end line a little bit more successfully, they're going to create some golden opportunities.
Alate, take it away, Sumba. The delivery out wide, Gallardo, and the breakup. Well-timed sliding tackle made by the other center back, Mitchell Mendoza, who's from Brooklyn. And he has found a home at center back, playing with Endoy, with a fine breakup for BMCC. Entry in for Karoma. BMCC plays with the pro-style carry, box 4 midfielders, a 4-4-2. You don't see it often in college. Aquila.
Oh, that's a dangerous ball.
Adigai settles and then tried to play in Amato. Now the transition opportunity for Eldine. And the ball win there by Endoy, quickly to the feet of Adigai, who's all over. And as he draws attention, Karoma. The breakup by Aldaz. And Carrie, how about that box midfield that we just don't see often here?
You do not see that very often at all. And I think that box, because you've got 2 up and 2 back, is creating some problems for the Queensboro midfield to be able to penetrate through those 2 and 2.
Eldine got it in stride from Velez. Eldine. And again, Endoy will slow him down. And then Endoy is fouled. Well, he's gotten the better of that matchup tonight.
He absolutely has. He's been playing very well. Endoy is, he's got good size. He's 6'4". He's excellent in the air, but he's also showing his ability to stick tackles and make it difficult for opposing forwards and opposing attackmen. There's his big size. He's able to get those legs in there to be able to create some difficulty.
Well, on the way down, he immediately felt pain, perhaps in the back of his head. And now he receives medical attention. So Abdou Endoy, Coach Modou Sek, is also from Senegal. And many former BMCC players, they're very invested in this program with all the winning. They consistently send Modu player recommendations, and one of his former players told him about Abdou Ndoye, and Modu recruited him to attend at BMCC. So the stoppage, and we start to see our very first glimpse of some light drizzle up in the lights. We don't see it or feel it here, but again, right around 8 o'clock Eastern, there was a chance of precipitation.
Number 2, Juan Aquapina has returned to BMCC.
So as Abdou Ndoye has to head over to the sideline, and BMCC has to take their center back out in what might be a very dangerous last 4 minutes for the Panthers.
Let's see whether or not Queensborough is able to attack that area of the field. That's the area that they've really been looking to go through the central part of the defense of BMCC.
It is Pavana. Queensborough had made a sub, bringing in Justin Chimborazo from Queens Tech High School, native of Corona and Queens. So fortunate for BMCC, Salil Eldin, during that injury, is subbed out. So a much different kind of a player in Chimborazo up top now at center forward. Sharif made the play on the ball. Pavana carries forward, and then he picks up the foul. So he draws a call here straight on, and it'll be another opportunity for great service.
Well, yeah, they're pretty far out. I mean, this is going to have to be a ball that's going to be chipped into the box area to allow players to run on and see if they can create any opportunities off of this chip. Sharif, looks like, is going to take this restart. I don't even know if I were BMCC that I would even look to set up a two-man wall that far out.
Sharif, and you'll play it short. Flores. And Flores has service. Adi Guy defensively winning the head ball, and BMCC collects. Abdul Mumin Seydu came to the U.S. from Ghana 3 years ago. Sharif, and Sharif comes up hobbling as this service by Amato is deflected. And indeed, the cramping, I think, from both sides has now shown itself. And we'll get the whistle blown with under 2 minutes left. And upon making a move, Rashid Sharif immediately went down and started clutching kind of his left calf.
And hopefully it's only a cramp and nothing worse than that. I was thinking the possibility that he may have twisted something as he went to play the ball. Hopefully it's nothing very serious, because that could really prove to be very detrimental to Queensborough to lose Sharif.
You may notice while we see up on the monitor the number 2 on the very front of the Queensborough uniforms. That's in honor that they did kind of spontaneously for starting sophomore right back Mike Chacho, who just suffered a really bad ankle injury. Came back against BMCC and unfortunately cannot play in this championship. But he is a big factor for Queensborough, not just as a solid player in the field, but one of their big leaders, and was a starting player on last year's championship team, along with Rashid Sharif. So that's why they went out and found some stickers that have the number 2 in that, as Aziwo Ayafor came up to us and showed us, look, this is what we're going to do. They've added the number 2 to,
it's tough for a
celebrate
team
their teammate.
to lose the emotional leader as well as a technical leader on the field.
So Sharif is at his feet, and Kenneth Ortiz is going to replace him. a freshman out of Francis Lewis High School, native of Flushing. That's kind of like the third center back, so he will take his spot. And then we'll see if Sharif can return for the second half.
Ortiz is a pretty hard worker, and he will be put to the test by BMCC. Certainly they're going to look to attack the new player coming in off the bench.
So a pileup of delays here late. Meanwhile, for BMCC during that stoppage, they get back Amdu Endoy at center back. That's great news for the Panthers. Here is Pavana. Slips the ball nicely through. Gallardo. Gallardo, next ball out wide. Chance for the Tigers. They look to chip in. They're asking for a handball. It was not there. Giovanni Ventura tried to play in the trail runner coming through in Chimborazo.
Well, that was another good opportunity for Queensboro. Watch Ventura, he gets in and looks to attack again the end line and looking to drop it back. There you see number 4 into your picture that looks to try and hit the layoff, attacking the goal. Good opportunity once again. Attacking the end line has been the success right now that Queensboro's had their last 2 or 3 opportunities in the offensive third.
A turnover. Molina Bonilla. Amato was there waiting. Mohamed Nazir chases. And he'll knock down Velez. And be called for the foul inside the final half minute. A goal in the 15th minute stands to be the difference for BMCC. Queensboro, since conceding the goal, they have been explosive, buzzing around, but they have not gotten the real grade A chance yet.
10, 9, 8, 7.
As Nazir chases,
5,
Flores will have one
3,
final touch,
2,
and that's it
1.
for the first half.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the first half with the score.
Queensboro ends up out-shooting Borough of Manhattan Community College 8-4, but the goal in the 15th minute,
Nothing.
Alam Bodru's corner kick caused some chaos. It was finished off by El Haji Adi Guy. 1-0 BMCC, looking to go, at least for them as a program, back-to-back and defend their title that they were not able to defend last year. 1-0 is our score. We'll take time out, and we'll tell you more about the CUNY wheelchair basketball team, as well as be joined by a special guest here at Queens College in a moment on Facebook Live.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
Something make you shake it, shake it. You better get yourself ready, 'cause I'm about to do my thing. Oh, hey, hey. I've seen it from the van, now we're dancing on the house lights. Oh, hey, hey. I'm turning on the dime, now we're flipping on the upside, upside, upside. I'm turning on the dime, now we're flipping on the upside.
How easy is health insurance with Health First? Absolutely easy with our app. Can you search for a doctor? Absolutely. Can you access your member ID? Absolutely. Download our app today.
Here from the CUNY Community College Championship game, it's the 2-seed BMCC with a 1-0 halftime lead over the top seed and defending champion Queensboro here at half. The CUNY Athletic Conference had a new team, so to speak, join last year, wheelchair basketball. Let's introduce and show you about the progress that's being made with CUNY Community College wheelchair basketball and head coach Ryan Martin.
Today is, kind of a part of a holistic program offering, camps for the summertime for youth. It serves a multi-purpose. It's providing programming for youth with disabilities in New York City, in the summer, just like their able-bodied peers would have, but as well as it's an opportunity to showcase the program and some of our current student athletes, and looking for that, like kind of those next generational CUNY athletes.
We're trying to promote equality so that all these student athletes and adaptive athlete students could actually go to the next level, play college basketball, and have also the opportunity to go to the Paralympics that is actually going on as we speak.
Like adaptive sports in the disabled community is a huge component of just our culture, our way of life, right? And so to provide these high-level opportunities where we're teaching the game at this type of level with myself and, Coach Paul and some of our student athletes, I think is a great opportunity. But it also, it's a testament to CUNY's commitment to our students with disabilities to provide them, a holistic academic approach, but also an opportunity to play athletics like their able-bodied peers would.
Being new to wheelchair basketball, I learned really quickly that it's very inclusive, and sometimes having a disability, you are excluded from things, but this is a great opportunity so that I know, looking at my peers and others, like coming in, that if they can do it, I can too. So it just pushes me forward to one, pass my goals to become a doctor, right? And then I see other people like me, and I have a sport that I can enjoy and they're with everyone else. So it's really great, and it's an awesome opportunity to have. So I really appreciate it.
We have 30 student athletes over 14 different CUNY campuses, and we'll have 5 more that'll come in the January semester, right? So hats off to them doing, virtual workouts and, all of the, performing well academically with a combined 3.3 GPA. They really fought for this, and adaptive sports programs at the collegiate level are really difficult to start. When we play that first game, it's going to be a tremendous testament to their fortitude to stick with it. New York City's a tough city, and our student athletes are as well.
We're staying together, we're doing different Zoom workouts, and we're communicating, and we can't wait to get out there and start playing.
Well, Coach Ryan Martin and the CUNY Wheelchair Basketball League will get started coming up this November. College basketball around the corner as well for CUNY. Here in the men's soccer community college championship game, it is BMCC with a 1-0 halftime lead over Queensboro. When we come back, we'll talk to Dr. Christine Mangino, president of Queensboro Community College, right here at Queens College. Here coming up on Facebook Live.
2022-23 CUNY Athletic Conference Championships are presented by Health First, health insurance for New Yorkers, the official wellness sponsor of CUNY Athletics. The Hospital for Special Surgery, #1 in the U.S. for orthopedics, is proud to be the official hospital of the CUNY Athletic Conference. CUNY University Student Senate, providing our students the platform to shape the City University of New York. And Hometown Ticketing, the official ticketing provider of the CUNY Athletic Conference.
How easy is health insurance with Health First? Absolutely easy with our app. Can you search for a doctor? Absolutely. Can you access your member ID? Absolutely. Download our app today.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
Shake it, shake it. You better get yourself ready, 'cause I'm about to do my thing. Oh, hey, hey. I see the brothers band now are dancing on the half lights. Oh, hey, hey. I'm turning on the dime now, I'm flipping on the upside, upside, upside. I'm turning on the dime now, I'm flipping on the
Slight drizzle here. We'll see if it affects the second half of this game. Borough of Manhattan Community College leading Queensborough at the half from the Community College Men's Soccer Championship game here in CUNY, 1-0. Ralph Benarchik now pleased to welcome in and see Dr. Christine Mangino again for the second straight year. She is the 6th president of Queensborough Community College, named, of course, at in an inappropriate time in August, right in the middle of quarantine of 2020. Christine, was when you were tasked to take over. First, on the topic of soccer, Queensborough making headlines just in the last month because your AD, John Hochberg, is going to be looking for a women's soccer coach. Queensborough Community College is going to become the first community college to have a women's soccer team. So that is exciting that you're going to have, a different form of student that's going to be recruited to your school.
Absolutely. We're really looking to see how we can expand our athletics, because that is one way to also increase enrollment, and it's a great way for students to make friends and feel a sense of belonging on campus.
At the community college level, of course, so many challenges in the CUNY system as things continue to go forward towards as close to normalcy as possible. What's this semester been like? How would you say, what is the state of the union of Queensborough?
So we are thrilled that we actually have students back on campus. So the first couple of days of classes, we had upwards of 5,800 students on campus, and 1,000 faculty and staff. The smiles of everybody to just have the population back was amazing. Last year, to put it in perspective, maybe we'd have 2,000 students on any given day. So it's been fabulous. Lots more in-person. Students were concerned, as we heard at the gates as they were coming in, that they were afraid about having to make friends outside of the Zoom world, but they obviously are starting to adjust now, and we're finding new ways to get them engaged.
What did your enrollment numbers kind of look like, and what does any early trends look like for the spring of 23 as you make key decisions about that?
Yeah, so we're down 1,000 students from last fall, but we expected that, right? So, and what's the better part of it is that our retention has leveled off, so we are retaining the students that we brought in. So at the beginning of the pandemic, it was both enrollment and retention that were struggling. So at least the students that are coming with us are staying through to their degree program, so we're making up enrollment that way. And we have lots of new opportunities reaching out to local CBOs and things like that. Students that had stopped out during the pandemic, how do we bring them back in and get them engaged and help them, get their dream of a degree?
How about student services? I'll point out certainly a great story that you'll see here in Juan Flores, who's starting holding mid for Queens. He commutes from Newburgh, New York, which is he told me today it took him 2 hours to get here, but he is majoring or pursuing criminal justice at Queensborough Community College. That's why he is putting in an incredible commute. I know you're coming from Long Island, and probably I'm sure traffic in LA you probably hate.
Nothing like that.
But just imagine what Juan Flores is dealing with. How about some of the support services that are available at Queensborough and the things like that because you have students that have much different stories than the four-year students do at other schools.
Yeah, I mean, we see a lot more students using our food pantry. We moved our food pantries from a back closet in an outside building to front and center, glass enclosed, so people see that, and it's normalizing it. Figuring out more scholarships. How do we get money into students' hands to help them make their tuition or pay their bills or, pay that Metro card? We see more students are going for advisement because it is still on Zoom at times, so they show up for their Zoom advisement appointments where they don't necessarily show up for their in-person advisement appointments, which is interesting. So, and mental health is another really big one. So making sure that students are connecting with our counseling services is really important to us.
Lastly, Christina, I think that, of course, you have one of the most unique stories because you're a college president that went through the community college route. There just aren't many of them. You went from Queensborough, from Nassau yourself to Hofstra to St. John's, pursuing your master's and your doctorate. I would imagine that you, more than anybody else, can truly connect with the kids that you encounter compared to most other college presidents that have different kinds of paths to get to where they are.
No, I was the first in my family to go to college with no guidance,
Oh.
so I just, applied to Nassau and I applied to NYU not knowing anything, and NYU's like, come back another time, right? But it was going to Nassau that I realized that I could actually be a good student and that I enjoyed the learning process. So I really appreciate that, but I also know how important it is for our students to get connected to the personnel on campus to get those advisement sessions, because I didn't do that and made a number of missteps, right? So it took me an extra year to graduate when I transferred for my bachelor's degree and things like that. So it's really important that students get the help and the guidance that they need when they first get there.
Dr. Mangino, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm sure you'll be watching the second half to see if Queensborough can go back-to-back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Christine Mangino, president here of Queensborough Community College. We're coming back with the second half and highlights before we start things on Facebook Live.
How easy is health insurance with Health First? Absolutely easy with our app. Can you search for a doctor? Absolutely. Can you access your member ID? Absolutely. Download our app today.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
I'll give you something, make you shake it, shake it. You better get yourself ready, 'cause I'm about to do my thing. Oh, hey, hey. I've seen it from the band, now we're dancing on the house. Oh, hey, hey. I'm turning on the dime, now we're flipping on the upside, upside, upside. I'm turning on the dime, now we're flipping on the upside.
Well, the rain has started to come down much further. 1-0. BMCC leading Queensborough at the half. Ralph Bnorchuk with Carrie Gluck as we show you just a couple of the highlights from the first half. Goal came in the 15th minute.
Off the corner kick, the head ball. There you'll see the opportunity coming for Queensborough at the other end of the field.
This
And
is a
again,
John Pavana run. That'll lead eventually to a goal for BMCC coming in the 15th minute. Rashid Sharif, wipeout tackle defensively.
and possibly the best shot taken by Queensborough in the first half. Here is the goal that hits off the crossbar and followed up and put into the back of the net by El Sharid Guy.
And at the half, shots are 8-4. Queensborough will get further into the stats when we have a second. And BMCC in the orange. Here's a ball delivered, and Nazir stopped by Molina Bonilla.
What a save by Bonilla, coming off his line, courageously attacking to be able to come up with that save.
Fine delivery, and Mohamed Nazir here in the opening moments of the second half, one-on-one. And remember that save from Molina Bonilla, not a big keeper at 5'5", relies on athleticism and reading off of his line.
Well, he read that one beautifully off his line, came off, came out, and just stuffed the shot.
Ensuing corner kick now for BMCC. And a low line drive and an easy basket catch. And Molina Bonilla quickly distributing for Aldaz. So the rain has certainly opened up a lot further. As we noted, this is a brand new turf field that is about to celebrate its first birthday. So we'll see how or if that will factor in to this second half in terms of possession and rhythm as Flores of Queensborough is fouled. Well, Carrie, if you're Aziwo Iofor coaching the Tigers, certainly the last 30 minutes you look pretty good. Here is Aldaz off the line. Aldaz then at the top of the box, swept off of his feet. And that was a long run made again by the explosive freshman right back from Brooklyn.
Did a nice job getting into the offensive third, giving an opportunity for Queensborough, maintaining possession.
As Amato is able to force that further out. Pavana keeping the tempo up, chips in, nice ball, and again Seydu is able to slide out and grab it before Gallardo would get there. Carrie, how about thoughts from Aziwo Ayafor talking to his team at the half for Queensborough?
Well, you know what? I think Queensborough had to make a little bit of an adjustment through the midfield area and up top, and they may well look to try and see if they can match up and go with go not only with four in the midfield to match up the four that the Borough of Manhattan Community College has thrown at them, but look maybe to even get an advantage and put an extra midfielder there as well. Maybe even look to get into a 3-5-2 and take advantage of the midfield to be able to control the midfield, which I didn't think they had a lot early.
This is a shot from distance. Pavana and Seydu could not control it. It'll be a corner coming up.
The shot well taken by Pavana. He's got a nice shot from outside. Look at him wind up, hits it well, keeps it low. I like the idea that he kept it low on the turf. Right now, the rain is going to create a little bit more of a skid on the ball off the wet turf. Seydu misjudged that off the corner and forced Seydu off the shot by Pavana to be able to create this corner kick. And now Queensborough is putting on a little bit more pressure early in the second half. I think that they would like to try and obviously get this goal, this equalizer goal, early in the second half.
Seydu, after the knockdown by Alati. As it is certainly opened up now, Amato. Nazir is offside. So Queensborough trying to find the equalizer. Both teams will be in the Region 15 tournament. This game will factor in terms of seeding. Two teams could see each other again coming up in a week or so in that Region 15 tournament.
Ooh,
there is the foul, and a needless foul to take for Alati as he brushed down Anthony Gallardo. And the game like this, perhaps set pieces become even more dangerous. But instead, Queensborough will play quick. Then Gallardo shooting. Not a bad rather. That was 18 rather, and Giovanni Ventura. Not a bad strike.
And not a bad thought by Ventura. He's now taken two early on in this second half.
For the Tigers.
Giovanni Ventura arrived at the end of August.
Panthers still lead 1-0.
And as you noted, Carrie, Coach Ayafor loves that he's very aggressive shooting from distance. The one guy that they don't have to tell to shoot more.
Well, he had one goal in their match earlier this month, or earlier last month, I should say, in September. He has 2 goals on the season.
Pavana, as he made eye contact, that was Gallardo making the run across.
Seydu with the stop.
Ball ahead as Ortiz is in there. Through ball for Nazir, and the offside flag up. And for Queensborough, we saw at the end of the first half their terrific center back and Rashid Sheriff have to leave the match with cramping. About 2 minutes left. He has not returned for the second half, so Kenneth Ortiz is in that spot. That is Ortiz, his first touch. Nearly turned it over.
That little skid on the ball got away from Queensborough, but only to regain it through the throw-in. Good change of attack by Pavana. That's not what they did early on through the first half.
Velez, the lead, Sumba, and Sumba tried to chip in. Velez, who's continuing his run. Maldwin Aldas. Attempting to back heel there was Gallardo. And BMCC through Hussein momentarily. Amato battles, dispossessed, Aldas. And then Aldas, kind of a wasted ball. It just seems that the Tigers, again, that the word patience or impatience, Carry,
Aldaz looking, I think, to service that ball at the top of the box as opposed to going in as deep as he had.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the safety of the players, officials, and the fans, we ask that all
Sumba
spectators please remain in the
looking
bleacher
for the
seats
run,
area. Thank you.
and then that ball is behind Aldaz, who's the right back that was in incredibly deep. Now BMCC under great duress here to open up the second half. We've played 8 minutes, and they've been on their heels.
Well, I think that's a tribute and as a result of the pressure now being exerted, or that has been exerted by Queensborough early on.
Now Nazir, and then Nazir just kind of losing his balance. He got caught in between how he would approach that run. Sumba trying to play it wide. Abdu Endui making a connection out wide. They look for Alkila. Queensborough collects another possession at midfield. Sumba.
Nice ball.
In and out, Ventura. And then after Ventura continued the run, again, it is Seydu. Now at the top, Aldaz then swings it across. Again, caught in between, perhaps service.
Well, see, Aldaz's service is not a bad service, Ralph, but there's nobody attacking the goal from the weak side. There's no diagonal run coming in off the weak side, midfielder or from a front runner.
Sumba. As that was Velez in deep, so both outside backs for Queensborough getting incredibly deep to start this second half. Sumba. Aldaz. And Amato the breakup.
Now, I think what Queensborough has to be a little bit more concerned about is that they don't get themselves susceptible to a quick counterattack by BMCC. Because their outside backs are getting in deep, they're leaving themselves, as you see on the replay. That's a nice thought to get that ball to the weak side. But to continue my thought, Queensborough sending those backs in deep are leaving themselves somewhat susceptible to an counterattack by BMCC out on the flank.
Number 11, Abdigai will re-enter the game.
BMCC brings back El Haji Adigai, who exited very late first half. And we'll see if he can change things as a target player, and he's perhaps been the best Panther, not just a goal scorer. Ball ahead, Gallardo, and again, he had a teammate in Chimborazo.
Now, Adigai had been marked beautifully and done a magnificent job defending Adigai was Sharif, who is not in at the moment, and whether or not he can take advantage of that, Adigai can create perhaps some opportunities for BMCC.
Sumba. Aldaz trying to fight his way through, and he will get wide. And Aldaz will earn Queensborough another deep throw. Now he's working against Juan Alcapino. He's come in play left back in the second half after the starter there, Adamola Opasanwo, left with cramping, came back in, now is exited. Sumba, shot blocked by BMCC.
Nice combination play by Queensborough in the 18 area. Almost got it through.
This shot from the outside, Ventura blocked. And Queensborough playing with great urgency here very early in the second half.
With good reason, though, Ralph, and they are putting on a lot of pressure on the BMCC defense.
Pavana. They look for a switch earlier. Don't get it there. This one falls to Ventura. And then swooping in was Parbu Singh on the defensive end. Taken back, however. Ventura drive. Shot blocked. And then it falls into the arms of Seydu. Well, charging out there, Mitchell Mendoza to get that with the body.
Here you'll see the shot taken by Salih, and the deflection falls right to Seydu, right on his line.
And that is Mendoza that is shaken up, I think, after taking the shot. Can't tell if it's result of the shot or cramping. But actually, kind of the way he gets up, it might be cramping. Meanwhile, the rain coming down, certainly enough where if you don't have an umbrella, you regret it here in Flushing. Fortunately, we are undercover.
And the rain was predicted to become a factor somewhat in this match.
Yeah, forecast called for a 30% chance at 8 o'clock, and that has happened as BMCC will make another substitution. They'll bring in Jimmy Vargas for the first time, redshirt freshman who is kind of a backup holding mid, and perhaps just looking to win some balls in the middle of the field. So is Eldine. He's back on the field for Queensboro. Aldaz in deep. Eldine with the ball at his feet, then tried to turn back to the middle. Adi Guy to check back. And his hold-up play works momentarily. Vargas chipped forward. Charging ahead, Karoma. And the foul against Queensboro as Alassane Karoma taken down. And this, if anything, for BMCC will give him a chance to exhale.
Allow the defense to catch a little bit of a breath. So I'm sure you're going to see BMCC right now is going to take a little bit of time to put the ball in play, allow their defenders to get a little bit of breath, and allow them to regroup a little bit because they have been under pressure for the last 14 minutes.
Now another Panther that is perhaps feeling the effects of cramping. If it isn't, it would be a wise move just to slow down that Tiger momentum.
I think you hit the nail right on the head. They're just trying to take a little bit of time, let them get an opportunity to get their breath and regroup defensively.
This field is lit very well. Not just a new turf field here at Queens, but significant that they added lights to be able to host events like this. Carrie, you and I will be back here in 2 weeks for the CUNY Senior College Championships, women's and men's. That's on Saturday, November 5th, 12 and call it 2:30, maybe even 3, depending on how the women's game goes. But we will be here for a Saturday in November, and this field will host that again as Alassane Karoma will come off. 3 goals and an assist this year, and has bounced back and forth between playing holding mid where he is tonight at the bottom of the box or center attacking mid, and he is from the Ivory Coast. Oh, this crowd and the ones without an umbrella are bearing with it. Alquila sends it in, and Molina Bonilla is able to handle cleanly. And that's his first touch now for this wet second half.
Then you have to wonder, and I think Bonilla did an excellent job with that, Ralph, but whether or not the wet ball creates some problems. And I think that was a wise decision in taking that restart to put it right at Bonilla, see how he handles the wet ball.
Yeah, you've got to ask the question to find out, don't you, Carrie?
Absolutely. You don't get the answer unless you ask the question.
Meanwhile, a foul called by Michael Andriaccio on the other end, and here is a golden restart for Queensboro. So Pavana would be an obvious player to serve. This is actually going to be Flores instead. And now Pavana will head over there. Now Pavana takes command. Chance to strike or service. Ball in. It skips through. It goes in! Pavana has scored again in the Community College Final. A restart put in a dangerous spot right at the 6, and Queensboro has the payoff after all of their work to begin the second half. They've leveled things at 1 in the 60th minute.
But, you know, you look at that restart, Ralph, and you say it's not the prettiest restart. The ball really is just chipped in. But what happens is that you caught Seydoux coming off his line. On the wet turf, the ball skips past him, and gets it into the back of the net. So it's not a net ripper. It's not a beautiful shot, but you know what? They all count the same, Ralph, and that's what Queensboro was able to take advantage of. This weather created that goal for Queensboro.
John Pavana, there's going to be a college at the 4U level that's going to find a gem. He's playing with greater confidence this year, and he made requests in the spring and the summer to use the field in Bayside at Queensboro Community College to work on his game. His team leading 7th of the season. He's a perfect 4 of 4 this year, Gary, on penalties. But his engine has been on. He's started every match of his 2-year Queensboro career.
And what a good decision for Pavana to go over to take that restart and say to Velez, no, I'm going to take this one. And that's why he's where he is, running the show in the middle of the field.
Meanwhile, a shaken-up player in the goal of BMCC. And we have had a handful of players come off. This is Mitchell Mendoza, starting center back then.
And I don't think that's just a cramp. I think that may be something more than just a cramp.
And it was Mendoza that was the last line of the fence that tried to come in and make a team save on the line.
Tried to clear it off the line, correct. So, again, with the wet turf, his ankle may have slipped under him.
So Mendoza is out, and Adamola Opasanwo will come in at left back. And it looks like BMCC has to slide over Carlos Alquila to center back. He started the game at center mid. So the Panthers not in a probably usual configuration for Modou Sek. But he's going to have to maybe play unconventionally the rest of the night.
And Queensboro now, of course, is rejuvenated. They are now playing with a little bit more mojo and looking to continue the pressure and look to see if they can get the go-ahead goal.
And look who's back on the other end in Rashid Sharif at center back for Queensboro. So this game has had some wild personnel flows in terms of players in and out for a variety of reasons. As Alote settles for BMCC. Opasanwo. And Opasanwo dispossessed. Ventura locating Sumba. Connection with Velez. And Velez trying to find Sumba again. Certainly a critical juncture in this game for BMCC just to settle it down and get off their heels as they try to play in Parbu Singh wide. And it's a Queensboro foul.
There you see the opportunity, and certainly it was a very easy call for our official.
Carlos Alquila. His last service tested Molina Bonilla's hands. As he looks for service to the far side, and we have 4 players that collide and go down. As play continues, Sumba after quick distribution, and it'll be a Queensboro throw. Sharif.
Queensboro looking to do a little bit more building up coming out of the back, which they had done successfully in their last match against BMCC.
Eldin and Endoy will climb up on his back. Aldaz trying to push forward. Alquila locating Vargas. Back heel through by Karoma. Good to see Karoma remaining out there after his apparent cramping. Now the next player down is a Queensboro player. This is Salil Eldin.
I think he might have gotten stepped on the back of his heel on the last tackle.
Eldin, hometown of Arverne, New York, in Queens, attended the high school for construction trades. Did not play last year. He was enrolled at Queensboro. Goes 6'3". It is fit in nicely with the possession players that Queensboro has, with Sumba and Pavana at midfield, and then the back 4 that are all coming back intact. As he tries to put some pressure on that right ankle, he's going to have to exit. Boy, the trainers have been maybe the busiest people here tonight. And now Eldin goes down like a...
Attempting to walk off under his own power, but apparently not able to do so.
Well, Carrie, I can't say that I've had many cramps on the field, but how do you deal with from each of these coaches? We've seen probably 10, 12 players come up with cramping. Sometimes you see it's a handful, but this has been excessive, and still with nearly a half hour left in the match.
I mean, I agree. I think it has been excessive. I think that some of those might have been more to get an opportunity to catch the breath and to slow the game down a little bit. Which is a smart move on these players to be able to take advantage of that. However, on the other side, there are those who are actually cramping and who are in need of some hydration to be able to relieve that.
Well, I would think Coach Azuo Ayafor would know something about hydrating, because he's also still the assistant track coach for indoor and outdoor here at Queensboro. He played soccer here and ran track, and certainly as he told me, he brings over the speed training to soccer that is very valuable to every athlete, and particularly running mechanics to the players that play in the wide midfield spots, forwards, guys that have to have short bursts, short sprints that he thinks can make a difference for his athletes compared to most coaching staffs. But this is all about taking care of your body right now, and who may have taken care of the body better in the last 24 hours. And also just in front of us earlier, the center back Mitchell Mendoza that had left with the apparent ankle injury. Remember, he got helped off while he was in his own goal. He had the cleat off, and looks like he may not return.
And he's still in the trainer's tent right beneath us to the left.
That's a shot by Parbusing wide. So this game has come to a dramatic halt after Queensboro spent 15 minutes piling up immense pressure on BMCC to open up the second half. Nice ball delivered and nearly through, and well, Seydoux, and if that isn't an indicator, I don't know what else could be. If Gallardo doesn't take it for granted that the goalie will have it, Gallardo might have been fouled or had a chippy.
And Seydoux, again, mishandling this wet ball on the wet turf. He's got to make sure he's got his body behind the ball.
As Ventura tries to win it, 18 in Navy. And as it came out wide for Velez, BMCC looks for a desperation clearance. Vargas turned it over. Aldaz shooting from the outside. At that time, Seydoux makes sure of it.
And I see Queensboro now looking to test Seydoux quite a bit with the fact that he has mishandled the last two shots on goal.
This ball in and getting a shot off Chimborazo. That's off the face of Seydoux. The ball spun the way of Queensboro. Combination of both turf and conditions, and that led to an easy one, nearly an easy one for Queensboro.
And Chimborazo, had he not been fallen down on his attempt to go to goal, watch it again, and you'll see Chimborazo come in there. Now he gets taken down a little bit by Seydoux, had he not been able to take that opportunity.
Sharif. As Velez tries to find the target man there in Gallardo. BMCC can only nudge it to the sideline where Queensboro will have another deep throw. The Tigers, the 1 seed, 4-0 against CUNY opposition, including a 4-1 victory September 20th. Against the Panthers, where they played a huge second half, in some ways similar to what we've seen from them here, where that was a 1-1 game at the break, and Queensboro ran away with it, scoring 3. This ball across, the opportunity to chip, and it comes in! It was played across. Anthony Gallardo in position to finish it off. Queensboro's relentless pressure pays off again. The Tigers now have the lead.
Gallardo simply does an excellent job. The ball coming out of the flank gets crossed across the box. And again, I wonder whether or not Seydoux is having problems here. He did not read it real well. Gallardo was able to just nudge it in off the post to be able to give the go-ahead goal. The second half team of Queensboro scored 3 in the last match. Now they've scored 2. 5 goals in the second half against the BMCC.
Anthony Gallardo is from Ecuador, but attended high school after moving here to the U.S. at Cardozo. That's located right across the street from Queensboro. His team leading 7th of the season. He's played up top at center forward a lot or wide right tonight. Queensboro leads for the first time. And the goal occurring in the 67th minute. As now we have a whistle.
And a card will be pulled out.
And that's going to be on Maldwin Aldaz of Queensboro, the second yellow of the night.
And both of them against Queensboro, as it has been. And you'll see the foul. Here you see the tug of the shirt and the pull down from the rear. And again, another good call by the official, Mr. Andriacci. Now, this is a dangerous opportunity right now for BMCC. Here's a chance for them to stifle whatever momentum Queensborough has attained up to this point by being able to take advantage of the dead ball restart. Back post.
Boldrew delivers, and somehow it trickles in. Perhaps it came off of a defender. In any event, we're tied at 2. El Haji Adigai was in the picture. So was Tides Parbusing. We'll get a second look, but BMCC has found a way to get level.
Well, not surprised Adigai was in the area. And I think it might have been off the head of Adigai. He's the one who headed it down. I'm not sure if it deflected in off of one of the defenders. But be it as it may, that is the equalizer goal. Now that momentum that Queensborough had accomplished in the second half has been somewhat nullified by that goal by BMCC.
Pending further review, El Haji Adigai has his second. Ball may have changed direction a couple of times. Another great service from Alam Bodrul. Another where he may not get an assist, but it's a good enough ball to get one.
Well, it was his ball off the corner, and now his ball off the dead ball restart. It was played to the back post, which is where Haji Guy was situated.
As Gallardo trying to work his way through. Adigai checked back. Vargas delivers for Mohamed Nazir, and the offside flag up very early. Mohamed Nazir had that great chance to begin the second half. How different the game might have been had he been able to finish. Molina Bonilla made his best save then. This is an errant clearance.
Oh.
And it comes through, and Nazir trying to push it towards goal.
What an opportunity for BMCC, getting the ball right at the top of the box inside the 18 off of the deflection by the defender.
BMCC was asking for a foul as Nazir had a defender on his hip. And Modu Sek is going to get a card here. And this is all because no penalty, I think, was awarded on the run by Mohamed Nazir, who was sort of coming down a bit, got a little bit of a shot off, but there was a defender draped on him. All right, Michael Andriaccio, our center referee, trying to restore some calm now. We are just in the 70th minute.
And the game has certainly picked up in its intensity after the second goal by BMCC.
And Modu Sek frustrated in the return of BMCC back to play for the first time since winning the championship, their 12th title in the fall of 2019. Having to recruit a brand new team, just one player on his roster that had any college soccer experience. The challenge there from Ovando, who stepped forward. The center back for Queensborough. Velez well up the line, continuing to battle. Or rather, that's Chimborazo. as he commits the foul. The rain started coming down right at the start of the second half, and that's added another wrinkle to this one. We had goals just seconds apart after the Gallardo goal in the 67th minute. Made it 2-1 Queensboro on the very next possession. The foul by Maldwin Aldaz, compounded by a yellow. It led to the short corner restart for Alam Bodrul, and he put it to the back post, where for the moment, again, we'll give the goal to El Haji Adigai, pending any further looks at it. But it did go in, and it is 2-2. And now another Queensboro foul. Well, every ball in the box has been an adventure in the second half. And here comes Carlos Alquila. Alquila's services has been pretty precise.
Now they look to be playing it to the back post once again.
He does, and Molina Bonilla couldn't get to it, and he was knocked down by a Panther.
Bonilla coming off his line very well, but not able to, I don't think he judged the ball real well, because that went over his outstretched arms.
Sharif and Alquila now at center back, able to win it. BMCC with Hussein, and his service blocked. Hussein looks to the back post. Velez there defending. Flores trying to play Sumba forward. Dennis Sumba. Chimborazo. On the next ball is Ovando. And Luis Angel Ovando will eventually win it back for Queensboro. Well, how different this game now looks compared to the first 15 minutes.
Those first 15 minutes were all Queensboro, maintaining possession, exerting pressure, and all in their offensive third of the field.
Ball too far for Gallardo.
Recapping the scoring for Queensboro, Pavana and Gallardo scored for the Tigers. And answering back, getting the equalizer was Abdigai, his second goal of the game. We are knotted at 2.
Michael Andriaccio is coming over. I think he's going to give another card to the BMCC bench. A red card has been shown to a member of the BMCC bench. It is not Modu Sek, the head coach.
He's got to leave the venue with the red card.
And it may be a member of the bench, or I don't think it was a current active player. But this is all frustration boiling over from the earlier non-call.
Yep.
With Mohamed Nazir in the box.
Correct. You are 100% correct. It's the frustration. I'm somewhat surprised, though, that the head coach doesn't take the card.
Obi receives a red card. 74th minute of play.
Whoa.
Ball ahead, and Molina Bonilla is taken down.
And that's going to be a card, I would think. Bonilla certainly had possession.
And that's Mohamed Nazir in the hard challenge. That's inside the 18.
Now watch Nazir. The ball is in the hands. Nazir makes no attempt to try and avoid the contact. Now I don't know.
So now Molina Bonilla is going to require some medical attention. Goalie in the month of September was an adventure for Queensboro. It was the position that had the most question to it. The backup goalie is Anthony Zelaya, who is a 5'10 freshman out of Port Washington on Long Island. He started the first 6 games of the season as still at the age of just 17. He's on the younger side. Before they recruited Molina Bonilla out of, as I said, gym class, physical education class on campus.
You get your best players out of the gym class. But going in, Zelaya does have a 1.94 goals against average in those first 6 games. Now, while you have this lull in the play, it's important for the players not to get to be just standing around, tightening up with the chilly rain. It's more important that they keep their legs moving.
So as they check on Molina Bonilla, they're going to need to get Anthony Zelaya ready just in case. They got him very late too, September 4th. But he has seen action, and now it looks like Molina Bonilla is going to remain in, and he's trying to stretch out kind of that right quad or that right leg that Nazir made contact with. Where there are a lot of guys on this field, Carey, who are certainly have been resilient from a physical standpoint between cramping and some challenges.
And the physicality of the game altogether, Ralph.
Vargas looks for a switch.
Well done.
Ibrahim Hussein. Ball through for Nazir. And look at Sharif slide over. Another near collision. That time, Molina Bonilla got enough contact. And the foul is on Queensboro, and this is going to be on Sharif.
Correct. They're calling Sharif for the foul. I think it's just outside the area. Tough to tell from that replay exactly what transpired. But you see Sharif standing there with his arms outstretched. Like, what did I do?
So the spot of the foul is a yard off the 18. Carlos Alquila has had tremendous precision from distance. He's number 7 in orange. Will he be the one? And the Queensboro wall is 5, and perhaps that's not enough. Adamola Opasanwo, 18 in orange. Over the ball, will it be him? And it is. Leading scorer for BMCC. He curves, he hits the crossbar, and it comes down to Molina Bonilla.
Well, there's a bounce in the right direction for Queensboro. That was an excellent shot. You saw the bend on the ball. What great camera work for us from right behind the shot. You see the bend, and it hits the crossbar.
Sharif finding feet of Sumba. And then Sumba can only push it, and even that is an adventure here for Seydu. He's able to scramble and prevent a corner. Even a seemingly innocent ball at a goalie tonight has just not been clean.
They want that restart to be retaken. The ball was not sitting still when the ball was being played. BMCC looking to play the ball very quickly, hoping to be able to catch the defense of Queensboro napping.
Alquila again. This ball bouncing dangerously. Gary, we've probably worked 1,000 broadcasts together. You just never know when you allow that.
Well, as a defense, you never want your ball to bounce inside the 18, and under the wet conditions, that ball almost bounced over Bonilla.
As Velez turns it over. Entry in for Adigai. And this may come down to who makes the last mistake. 2-2 game. BMCC led 1-0 at half. This ball comes to the feet there of Ventura. Another Queensboro player down.
All these stoppages of play are really taking away any rhythm that either team is trying to establish, Ralph.
That's Ovando. That gets to his feet, and he'll remain in. And Gary, if these stoppages benefit anybody, who?
Good question, because neither team has, at this point, created any kind of momentum after the second goal.
Sharif, and he gets the bump from Adigai. And it's turned right back over. Parbusing. And then Pavana commits the foul. And a card is going to be issued to John Pavana of Queensboro.
And you'll see Pavana come into your picture. There again, you see the tug of the jersey. And then, you know, you're doing that right in front of the official. You know he's going to give you the card for doing it. Be a little bit more discreet. Try and do it in a situation where it's not right in front of the official.
John Pavano receives a yellow card.
Perhaps another bit of an adventure on another restart. Hussein drives it, and it just skipped past the crossbar.
A well-taken shot, certainly, and not far off the target. But Bonilla is not a real big goalkeeper in stature.
Ventura. Giovanni Ventura lining up the shot. It's blocked. It comes through to Seydu. And just before Chimborazo could perhaps had a chance at a tap-in.
And again, good opportunity, good shot. There's the deflection. And then, of course, the Seydu, the keeper, coming off his line, holding on to that one. Under pressure as well.
Parbusing, as he turns it over. Well, the panic of the game has seemingly taken out the patience of the way particularly Queensboro was playing earlier. Hussein, they have given Ventura a nudge. Sumba, nice delivery wide. Velez. Sumba, and taken off possession by Tyrese Parbusing. Ahead comes Mohamed Nazir as he tries to take it across. He's around the slide tackle, then Sharif again with another outstanding defensive play.
Well done by Sharif. He has really been, as I said earlier, the stalwart of the defense. But again, I think the shot should have been taken a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, he lost the touch right there as he made that move to go to the goal. He lost a little bit of the touch, and that created the opportunity for Sharif to do the sliding tackle.
Subs on for both. Lucas Amato. back in one of the forwards. Queensborough will bring back Salil Eldin, and we'll see how he is running and feeling. Remember, he left with apparent cramping. Amato has the entry. Eldin. A chance to attack Endoy. As Endoy comes out to challenge, and then Endoy, it's a play on. And now a stoppage because Endoy is shaken up. This is not a foul.
Endoy had a nice opportunity coming down that left flank. And you see him now holding his nose, I believe. He may have taken an elbow to the nose. And the stoppage by the official.
Abdou Endoy left the match earlier with an apparent head injury. That came late in the first half. So they continue to look at him with a stoppage in the 82nd minute. Rain continues to come down, albeit I think a lot lighter than it was earlier. So I don't think it's reflected yet in the way the game is being played. Oh, Endoy is now back on his feet, and at least is going to walk off the field under his own power. Now, what an adventure this has been. How many times have we seen a guy have to come off the field tonight here at Queens College? It's the first time they're hosting here in Flushing. Could be many more. We hope for better weather in the future. BMCC just lost a tough game at Suffolk Community College on Thursday. It was a heartbreaker, but it rained that day too. And on that day, it was another ball that slipped through Abdul Mumin Seydou's hands. That's the only reason why Suffolk, who could do real damage in the National Junior College Tournament if they get there, if they get through Region 15. Ball wide for Aldaz, who could not catch up to it.
I'm not sure if that ball that was played to Aldaz would have gone out of bounds had it not been for the skip of the ball on the wet turf, Ralph. Aldaz, I thought, was going to be able to get to it until the ball hit the ground, and you saw that little skip, and that really carried it out of bounds.
At the conclusion of the match, all fans must remain off the playing field. We appreciate your
And with Abdou Endoy now on the
game.
bench, BMCC has an entirely new set of center backs in. That just doesn't happen in competitive soccer, much less a championship game, as they've had to bring in Christian De La Peña to play that spot vacated, and Carlos Alquila, who started at right mid, he's been the other center back with the other injury to Mitchell Mendoza.
That really puts I want to say a crimp into your defense, because those are usually the two most critical and responsible defenders. And now you've either taken other players who are not used to the chemistry of working with these two new center backs.
Queensborough committing a foul. And they have been sloppy in allowing a few of these long restarts. Alam Bodrul. Let's see if that's him over the ball. Actually, rather, it's Alquila. And it has to be punched out by Molina Bonilla. He got caught a bit in between. Follow up on the second opportunity. as Vargas applied pressure for BMCC. As so is Opesanwo up the sideline. It'll be a Queensboro throw. And down again is Ademola Opesanwo for the third time tonight.
Should be 3 strikes and you're out.
And now he's back to his feet. Now after a loose ball, this shot is rocketed from the outside by Tyrese Parbusing.
Well, both teams now are just looking to challenge the keeper. If they can put it on frame, looking to see if the keeper has the capability of holding the ball, not giving up a rebound, playing it cleanly. That's really what both teams are looking for right at this point.
Number 23, Abdul Madoye re-enters the game for BMCC.
Abdu Ndoye returning for BMCC at center back. As Sharif sent it ahead. Parbusing again. This time declines the shot from the outside. And a beautiful breakup by Juan Flores of Queensboro. Ball ahead for Eldin.
Good track back by Queensboro to take over possession.
Pavana.
Now they're giving a play on.
Velez hoping for a foul. Ovando stepped in front of Hussein. Here's Aldaz. Velez is in an offside position as he was still down on the turf. The other way comes Lucas Amato. Ventura. High in the air, Ndoye rejecting a potential service in the air.
Ndoye really elevated to be able to get his head on that ball for the clearance for BMCC. Well done, good defensive effort. There's the ball played in. Ndoye, you see how high he got up on that head ball.
Another player down on the Queensboro end. It's been a battle of attrition, certainly, in this CUNY Community College Championship match. Both teams will advance and play in the Region 15 tournament, but this is about hardware. Queensboro trying to go back-to-back for head coach Aziwo Ayafor. BMCC trying to win a championship again, nearly 3 years to the day, after not having a season in 2021 or, of course, 2020. Truly has been a battle. Neither team, neither coach has been happy. Players have been exiting in and out, not due to substitutions, but rather mainly cramping and the occasional physical play that led to a knock of some kind. And here is yet another Queensboro player having to leave to the sideline. And that's Luis Angel Ovando that leaves.
I mean, I think, we have to do and keep in mind the rivalry between these two teams. They have gone head-to-head not only during the season, they've gone head-to-head in previous championship games. So there has been a rivalry that has been built up, Ralph, and I think you're seeing this rivalry being illustrated on the field in the play of the match and the physicality and so forth.
Yes, as Aziwo Ayafor mentioned from Queensboro, that these games between us, they're never over until the last whistle. And earlier this season, it was the goal that BMCC scored that woke up Queensboro. I think you could say the same thing tonight. This cross knocked down and out by Sharif. Corner here late for BMCC.
We'll see if they can take advantage of this corner kick opportunity. At this point, I would think that you would see BMCC bring players forward with just over 2 minutes remaining in the match. Try and get as many BMCC players in the box. Create havoc.
Baudrul to the far post.
Kept in play.
And then Ibrahim Hussein took it too far across the end line. So Queensboro escapes there in the 89th minute. Sharif out to Sumba. Ventura trying to pop it forward for Eldin. Aladi. Alati try to find Nazir through the middle. Amato duels there with Sharif. Sharif looking very healthy, and then he is tripped up. Foul against BMCC.
This is the 90th minute of play. 1 minute remaining in regulation time.
Queensboro.
They've got
wide for Aldaz. And then stepping in front of him was Opensanwo.
Here comes a nice counter opportunity for BMCC. Good ball played in.
Nazir trying to stay onside, and Molina Bonilla timing
perfectly
his exit from goal.
Perfectly. Bonilla did an excellent job coming out on that ball.
Ball out wide, some room for Gallardo. He's onside, half-minute left. This ball chipped to the wide side by Pavano. Well, Pavano, as that ball started to curve, it was lined up well for him.
He played that perfectly, looking to go to that back post, and that will certainly, I think, run out the clock.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
The game
3, 2,
opening up in the final minutes, but it'll take overtime.
22.
No more overtimes this year in the regular season for college soccer, the NCAA level, or junior college. It does still exist in tournament play, and the NCAA tournament. We will have that here. We are 2-2 at the end of regulation on a rainy night in Flushing, Queens. 2-2 game. We'll take timeout. First 10 minutes. Golden Goal is up on the clock on Facebook Live.
How easy is health insurance with Health First? Absolutely easy with our app. Can you search for a doctor? Absolutely. Can you access your member ID? Absolutely. Download our app today.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
I'll give you something, make you shake it, shake it. You better get yourself ready, 'cause I'm about to do my thing. Oh, hey, hey. I'm sitting from the ground, now we're dancing on the house lights. Oh, hey, hey. I'm turning on the dime, now we're flipping on the upside, upside, upside. I'm turning on the dime, now we're flipping on the upside.
2022-23 CUNY Athletic Conference Championships are presented by Health First, health insurance for New Yorkers, the official wellness sponsor of CUNY Athletics. The Hospital for Special Surgery, #1 in the U.S. for orthopedics, is proud to be the official hospital of the CUNY Athletic Conference. CUNY University Student Senate, providing our students the platform to shape the City University of New York. And Hometown Ticketing, the official ticketing provider of the CUNY Athletic Conference.
And you win.
Just play and defend.
Yeah, they would have won. All right, we got 3 minutes here, guys. When do you want to come back?
Dan, I can hardly hear Dan.
So this is the start of the first overtime. Tied at 2. Ralph Bjorchik with Carrie Gluck as you're watching the rain continue to come down. It looked like it had stopped for a little while a few minutes ago, but 2-seeded Borough of Manhattan and top-seeded Queensborough Community College, the defending champions here, are level here at this new turf field at Queens College. Shots through regulation, 21-15 Queensborough. Corners are 4-2 BMCC. This was a 1-0 game at the half. BMCC was able to get a goal after some gritty work done in the 15th minute of play. It would stay that way until the second half, where it has been very difficult for the goalies, particularly on the BMCC end, for clean handles. This was a hard challenge here by Mohamed Nazir, and then this in the final flurry by John Pavana would not bend his way. Those chances coming after the game was still 2-2. 21-15 in shots. BMCC has gone offside a number of times. That's also because Queensborough has had the ball so much up the field. And Carrie, what do you make of how this game, with the two coaches trying to rein their teams back in, and I don't use the word rein intentionally, I just mean that in a different definition, but what do you make of the two teams trying to find a rhythm during this break?
I was just going to say, it's going to be the team that can come out and establish their game and establish the rhythm that they would like. Now, after the halftime, Queensborough came out and established their rhythm, which allowed them to get their equalizer goal and then the go-ahead goal. So if they can come out again strong, establish the rhythm, I think you'll see an opportunity or two for Queensborough. On the other side, I think BMCC, they played their goals coming off of dead ball restarts, both of them. One from the corner kick, one from the restart off the foul. That's how they scored their goals. So, again, it's going to be a question, is Queensborough going to give them the opportunity with fouls, or are they going to make BMCC earn the goals from the field?
10 minutes is up on the board. Golden goal situation to capture the CUNY championship. And this one will be earned. The Tigers winning comfortably last year in the second half over Bronx 3-0. Queensborough in the Navy with possession. John Pavana, he has not subbed out at all. And as a center midfielder playing a grueling position. Here comes El Hadji Adigai. He has scored 2 goals.
Well, you'll notice now they move Hadji Guy into the midfield. Have taken him off the front line. And you don't take a guy like Pavana off. He's the engine. He's the guy who runs the ship, and he's got to stay on the field to be able to make sure that Queensborough establishes its rhythm, establish its pace of the game, and they cannot afford to take Pavana off the field.
And this drive skips wide. Good look. Ibrahim Hussein, or rather actually that's Ademola Opasanwo wide. Sumba had that last touch. BMCC with possession. Ball win, BMCC from Aloti. Adi Guy trying to push it through. They do, and the shot misses. Offside flag was up in any event. Would not have counted. Tyrese Parbusing, though, was able to make a run.
And Tyrese was in beautifully, but perhaps that was because he was in the offside position. Good call by the official. He was right on the line.
Sharif, and you could see the water come up off the ball after it's being passed. The outside backs have switched for the Queensboro Tigers. Maldwin Aldaz now on the left, Kevin Velez on the right.
Yeah, there's Adi Guy. He's got to be around the ball.
Sharif, after the step, charges ahead. Could not get a great touch on the pass. Pavana, now we're starting to see some really tired legs as we've played almost 95 minutes. Eldine tried to chest it down, and Queensboro will be able to methodically get some numbers ahead as they have a throw-in.
And of course, and you talk about tired legs, under the conditions with the wet field, the wet turf, and your shoes getting wet, it also makes it a little bit heavier on the legs. Once your shoes are wet, your socks are wet, the field gets a little bit more slippery, so your footing is not quite as the same as it was.
They tried to send Eldine forward. And look at this work by Opasanwa. He commits the foul. He went right after Anthony Gallardo.
I think Queensboro really should put some more numbers in the box, unless they're just so concerned about a counterattack.
Flores, the last touch. Pavana quickly triggers it ahead. Leave for Ventura wide. And then as Sumba tried to accelerate, and then Velez trying to continue the run to the end line. BMCC ball halfway through this first overtime period of a golden goal situation. BMCC just 6-6 on the year. They had to pull it together after not having a season a year ago. Did not have all of their key players in the regular season meeting between the two. Amato trying to backheel it to himself was Karoma. Pavana gave it away. Amato service. And it will be a overtime corner for BMCC.
Their fifth corner kick of the match, scoring on the first one. We'll see if they can pull the magic on this one.
Lucas Amato rather than Bodrul to provide service.
It'll be an outswinger with the right foot.
Good ball, head ball, right at Molina Bonilla. It stays out. Michael Andriaccio, the referee, waving his arms frantically to say no. The entire ball has to cross the end line, and Molina Bonilla had to reach back.
And, of course, the AR right on the line was in good position to see whether or not that ball was over the line in its entirety. But you know, of course, who was responsible for the head ball. None other than our player who scored the opening goal, and that, of course, was Adi Guy. He's the guy who got up high.
Hussein may have over-dribbled into traffic. Hard step by Opasanwo. Advantage was given. Sharif. It's BMCC ball. Azuo Ayafor disagreeing. It was right in front of him. Bodrul got it to Adigai. And now the foul by Queensboro. And this is another juicy spot for BMCC. And this will be a little under 30 yards out.
This is an ideal situation right now for BMCC. And it'll be a wall set up by Queensboro with a minimum of 5 or 6 players in the wall, but yet they still have to keep players to be able to mark up.
It'll be Carlos Alquia of Brooklyn. He's over it. Older brothers Kevin and Danny won championships for the program earlier. And this one he sends wide.
It looked like he tried to hit it with the outside of the right foot to be able to get a little bit of a bend around the wall. A good effort, I thought, on his part, but just sent it a little bit wide.
BMCC, the 2 best chances in the overtime. Pavana trying to work his way through. Amato took the ball away and stopped him. Hussein. Aldine, back heel. Pavana tried to tow his way through. Sumba to the feet of Aldas. Queensboro has not subbed a ton tonight. Give their starters a lot of credit for the amount of time that they have logged. Velez, the breakup, and time is going to run out on our first overtime period. 2-0, Borough of Manhattan Community College and Queensboro Community College. We'll play on. Next 10 minutes of Golden Goal is coming your way on Facebook Live.
How easy is health insurance with Health First? Absolutely easy with our app. Can you search for a doctor? Absolutely. Can you access your member ID? Absolutely. Download our app today.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
I'll give you something, make you shake it, shake it. You better get yourself
Start of the second overtime, 2-2 game. BMCC and Queensboro. 2 good scoring chances for BMCC. Let's show you the one that could have been. This one actually was the offside. Amato off the corner. Let's watch the ball. Molina Bonilla reaching back. Initially, when the ball bounced, it looked like it might have bounced across the line there. But the way Bonilla cradled it
and brought it into his body, you could see the line was clearly behind the ball. So, again, a good call by the official and the AR.
Another 10 minutes of golden goal. Alodi as he shields off the defender. And a foul on BMCC. Queensboro committing a couple of fouls in dangerous spots in that first overtime. Opisanwo in the air, got it. Hussein down the middle, past Sharif. And Adi Guy trying to run onto it, but it's Molina Bonilla. Hussein tried to return the pass. Pavana off the breakup. And Justin Chimborazo, who has returned to open up the second overtime for Queensboro.
He had to put more pace on that ball for it to get into the feet of Chimborazo.
Nearly a nice delivery to some space. Now the takeaway, Sumba firing from the outside, and that's not going to get the job done. Understandably, Queensboro is trying to shoot from distance because we have seen Abdul Momin's hands be questionable at times. One goal you could say is directly come off of a mishandle by Seydu. The goal by Gallardo in the 67th minute by Queensboro that gave them a very brief 2-1 lead. Now we'll get an inadvertent handball. And a card is going to be issued too. And the card is on Alam Bodrul of BMCC. So maybe not as
intentional. I was going to say it was not so accidental to be able to get that card because that's only given. Yeah, you saw him reach up with his hands.
Third minute of play.
Well, can, again, advantage be taken with the restart?
Anything skipping in has been a problem.
Anything in the box has created chaos for the defense.
John Pavana,
who scored the first on a dead ball restart.
Yep, that tied it at 1 in the 60th on a similar kind of strike. He waits for the whistle in the second overtime. Service in. Has a runner through, and it skipped in, and Seydu grabs it.
And this one, Seydu handled cleanly. The ball being played in by Pavana. There you see it being played into the box. And right to the hands off the bounce to Seydu.
Velez, and he tried to spring Ventura. Opesanwo. Hussein. Hussein continues to carry. Now we have another player down for Queensborough. Remarkably, Azuo Iofor of Queensborough has subbed very little over the course of this game. He's going to get Daniel Bernal in a backup forward in for the first time tonight, coming 104 minutes in. He's played Chimborazo off the bench, Kenneth Ortiz a little bit. That's been it, just 2.
Yeah, a rare substitution for Queensborough.
And in the college game where subs are free-flowing, that's very unusual. And again, Queensborough trying to go back-to-back. BMCC did not play last year, nor in 2020. Nobody did. So they, to themselves, could still be considered defending champs. They weren't unseeded. Today they try to take back that title. That's Kevin Velez heading off for Queensborough. And he has logged a ton of time tonight at outside back. So Justin Chimborazo replaces him in that area. And Daniel Bernal into the match for the first time up top. Bernal, his first touch. Aldaz entering in. Ventura locating Sumba. Good delivery for Chimborazo, just too far ahead. And Opensanwo for BMCC. With room in front of him, slipping the pass through. Out comes Molina Bonilla. He's out of goal, turning and firing. He had to make a save. As he scrambled back, he makes a save to take the game winner away from BMCC. Tyrese Parbusing was in position.
And give credit to Bonilla, his recovery, his ability to get back into position to be able to deflect the shot by Tyrese. Saves that one. And again, and look at this save by Bonilla to be able to parry that ball.
No touch ruled there, Carey. And Queensborough can lay it down. Now, the scoring chances since it started raining have not been what you'd say natural. It's been all off of broken plays, off of chaos. Who might make a mistake? And now midway through this second golden goal overtime. Pavana, he ran into Amato. Ball win BMCC. Ibrahim Hussein. Hussein carries across, and then while fading away, trying to tuck it into the goal.
A good strike by Hussein. A good ball played, again, by our friend up top who's been doing a lot of the work. That was Adi Guy. He played that ball to Hussein. Now, I think Hussein took the ball and crossed the face of the goal just a little bit too far. Hopefully he could have been able to get that shot off a step or two sooner, and he might have been able to get it on the frame inside that post.
Pavana. And this one harmlessly bounces to Seydu. Off the long goal kick. Adidai. Ibrahim Hussein angles it, trying to get to his right foot, and then strikes wide. Did not
want to take it to the left, and he played it back to the right, looking to bend it. He had the shot with the left foot right here. He has the back post wide open, and instead he looks to take it back to his right to bend it inside that back post.
Another shot from the outside, and Molina Bonilla, with no traffic, can knock it down. Opesanwo, again with a lot of room. Trying to slip in a teammate again, and that was Parbu Singh. It'll be a goal kick. Well, BMCC so many times tonight, they have been so close towards the perfect through ball.
That's what they have been looking for most all of the evening, Ralph, that through ball to Adigai, to Persano, to whomever is up top for BMCC.
Number 3, Kevin Velez re-enters the game for the Queensborough Community College Tigers.
Final 2 minutes of golden goal. Penalties await us. BMCC trying to rescue a corner. They did not. So Queensborough can get some numbers forward. No, now our official and Michael Andriaccio initially pointed to the corner. Now it's going to be a throw. Ventura looks for a switch. Defender was there, Opesanwo handling cleanly. Velez. Parbu Singh won the ball to Opesanwo. And Sharif steps in front. This one deflecting off of Velez, the defender, but rescuing the day there was Ortiz. And the final minute of golden goal. Pavana. We've been tied since the 67th minute. Pavana then lost a cleat along the way, and then the whistle blows play dead. Well, if there was no defender there, it would have been fascinating to see what could John Pavana have been able to do without his right shoe.
Pavana is creative, and he does attack the goal, but without a shoe, I'm not so sure. But you know what? He's able to strike a ball pure. He's able to strike a ball cleanly. I would think he could probably hit it almost as hard without the shoe.
Clock stops with 38 seconds remaining. Pavana has the cleat on.
Now
the shoelace is a little tighter.
It looks now, Ralph, that they're looking to play this ball in to runners coming in off the back post, as opposed to letting Pavana go right for goal. I mean, I would think that he's going to take the shot and go right on goal.
John Pavana. And the wall does its job. That looked like he was striking towards goal carry rather than service.
Yep, and which is what I would have thought he should have done.
Next ball in. Aquila, poor touch. Ventura, shot blocked. Recovering opportunity. And the offside flag up. And this is going to run out the clock. Dangerous moments again.
10, 9, 8.
Aquila with that key, clean blocked shot.
4, 3,
rescues BMCC.
1. Ladies and gentlemen,
both teams within inches of a winner, and we will have penalties to decide the CUNY Community College Men's Soccer Championship. Borough of Manhattan Community College, Queensborough Community College are still deadlocked at 2. We'll take timeout. We'll come back with the 5 minutes starting up. We'll come back and bring you penalties from Queens College on Facebook Live.
Today is, kind of a part of a holistic program offering, camps for the summertime for youth. It serves a multi-purpose. It's providing programming for youth with disabilities in New York City, in the summer, just like their able-bodied peers would have, but as well as it's an opportunity to showcase the program and some of our current student athletes, and looking for that, like kind of those next generational CUNY athletes.
We're trying to promote equality so that all these student athletes and adaptive athlete students could actually go to the next level, play college basketball, and have also the opportunity to go to the Paralympics that is actually going on as we speak.
Like adaptive sports in the disabled community is a huge component of just our culture, our way of life, right? And so to provide these high-level opportunities where we're teaching the game at this type of level with myself and, Coach Paul and some of our student athletes, I think is a great opportunity. But it also, it's a testament to CUNY's commitment to our students with disabilities to provide them, a holistic academic approach, but also an opportunity to play athletics like their able-bodied peers would.
Being new to wheelchair basketball, I learned really quickly that it's very inclusive, and sometimes having a disability, you are excluded from things, but this is a great opportunity so that I know, looking at my peers and others, like coming in, that if they can do it, I can too. So it just pushes me forward to one, pass my goals to become a doctor, right? And then I see other people like me, and I have a sport that I can enjoy and they're with everyone else. So it's really great, and it's an awesome opportunity to have. So I really appreciate it.
We have 30 student athletes over 14 different CUNY campuses, and we'll have 5 more that'll come in the January semester, right? So hats off to them doing, virtual workouts and, all of the, performing well academically with a combined 3.3 GPA. They really fought for this, and adaptive sports programs at the collegiate level are really difficult to start. When we play that first game, it's going to be a tremendous testament to their fortitude to stick with it. New York City's a tough city, and our student athletes are as well.
We're staying together, we're doing different Zoom workouts, and we're communicating, and we can't wait to get out there and start playing.
So we're tied at 2, and we'll have a penalty shootout. Ralph Bednarchuk with Carrie Gluck as it continues to rain here at Queens College. Special hats off to our entire crew. Our director and producer, Dan Lippenholtz, our executive producer, Mark Fratto, has also made a grand entrance here. 5 rounds of penalties coming up. We wait for the coin flip to see which team will lead off. Let's have a look at some of the best scoring opportunities in overtime. Queensborough had the last really good ones. This was John Pavana as it skipped in with a runner in front. Then this save here with the leg by Molina Bonilla. Then Hussein cutting it across. Also in the second overtime. Then this was in the final seconds. Look at this drive. Akia making the block shot cleanly on the potential Ventura game winner. If that deflects and causes more chaos, then we might all be in the car already.
There certainly were opportunities.
So our shooters, I think, have been identified by the coaches. The coin flip has been determined. And it's going to be Queensborough that leads it off. So BMCC goalie Abdul Mumin Seydoux takes his spot in goal. Now, penalties, of course, no longer happening in the regular season. BMCC this year is a team 1 of 2 from the spot. Queensboro this year a perfect 5 of 5. So, Seydu has taken his spot. Who will be the first shooter for Queensboro? Certainly Pavana and Sumba Carey, I would imagine, are going to factor in pretty early for the Tigers.
Well, certainly, as a coach, you want your first shooter to be a good one. You want to make sure that you start and get the first goal off the PK.
And that creates all the pressure then on the next shooter in the bottom of the inning. So far, Queensboro has not shown their hand yet, as our officials are writing down who the scheduled shooters are for the first 5 rounds. Seydu, he has to wait on all of this, as our 4th official is gathering the information, the intel as far as who's where and in what spot.
In as much as you want to make sure you have one of your better shooters go number 1, you also want to make sure you have your one of your better shooters as the number 5 shooter, in case that one has to be and can handle the pressure.
So they've gotten the order for Queensboro, now the order for BMCC. It continues to drizzle here at Queens College, not as hard as it did earlier. So, indeed, John Pavana will lead off the penalty shootout for Queensboro, last year's tournament MVP. He's got a goal in this one. He's a kid from Rosedale, New York, in Queens, Newtown High School. He has played every minute tonight at center mid. Pavana this year has been spectacular, 4 of 4 on penalties. But this is the first shootout for both teams this season. Pavana is ready, waiting for the whistle against Abdul Mumin Seydu. And Pavana is stopped.
Seydu makes the save.
Seydu came up big on that one. Pavana taking the right-footed PK goes to his left. Seydu guessed right and was able to knock it away from the goal.
And now the trusted leg of Alam Bodrul. Or check that.
Shooting for the Panthers is number 5. Bodrul.
It is Bodrul.
Well, now Bonilla has to rise to the occasion.
And Bodrul pockets it. 1-0 BMCC.
A good finish by Boudreau. They having him retake this?
Alam Bodrul called back, and he must have struck before the whistle allowed him to go. He's 1 for 1 on the year. And this time he goes to the other corner.
Bodrul finished that one well. He went low to the right. This time he went up high to his left.
The Panthers 1, the Tigers nothing.
Now Queensboro will go to Justin Chimborazo. Hasn't taken a penalty this season.
Chimborazo.
A freshman from Corona in Queens, Queens Tech High School. He's played the most minutes for Queensboro off the bench tonight in what was an overall very short bench. And Chimborazo misses.
Plays it wide.
No goal.
Look at Chimborazo. He doesn't take much of a step, only a 1 or 2 step move to the ball, and he just pulled it with his right foot wide of the goal. And here's a golden opportunity now for BMCC to go up 2.
The Panthers' leading scorer in the season, Ademola Opesanwo. had to leave the game with cramps, returned to his left back spot. Big and athletic with 7 goals, 2 assists from the Bronx. And he roofs it.
Well
2-0 through a pair of rounds for BMCC.
That was a well-taken shot. Puts it up high on Bonilla. There you'll see with the right foot, he just puts it in under the crossbar. A tough save for Bonilla to have to make that one.
Queensboro will turn to their target forward, Salil Eldin.
This is a must now for Queensboro.
To lead off the third round, Eldin. Clinical.
Finishes that one well.
Slow approach.
Does that little bit of a stutter, but does not stop his motion. If you stop your motion, it'll be discounted. So he keeps his motion going, a little bit of a stutter, and gets the keeper to move before he gets his shot off.
And now Carlos Alquia.
Now shooting number 7, Carlos.
The oldest brother, Danny, won a championship at BMCC in 2017. The second brother, Kevin, won in 2019. Now Carlos, a chance to contribute to a title, and he puts it away. 3-1 BMCC through 3 rounds.
Now, the first 3 shooters that have scored, Ralph, notice that they all went high to the left on Bonilla.
Queensboro must score here. In the top of the 4th, they send Dennis Sumba to the spot.
Number 8 will shoot for the Tigers.
Well, we thought Sumba would be one of the shooters, which he is. It's a must.
Sumba keeps Queensboro alive.
Zumba scores for the Tigers.
So it's 3-2.
A make here and it's over.
BMCC has El Haji Adi Guy,
Number 11, Abdu
the most
Guy.
impactful player for BMCC. He's got both of their goals tonight. He has not taken a penalty. Their most experienced player, the lone player that has hardware back from the 2019 championship season.
And he
Adi Guy
wins it.
with a left foot. BMCC comes back after a 2-year absence, and they're at the top of the CUNYs again. They defeat and dethrone Queensboro tonight in penalties.
Adu Guy, the game winner off the PKs and scores the 2 goals during the regulation. What an opportunity, an experience for this young man to come back after the 2-year layoff, like you said, and win this game for BMCC.
BMCC will head into the Region 15 tournament with great momentum. They went a perfect 4 of 4, and none of these were gimmies.
And all of them were in the same location. All 4 were to the upper left hand or the upper right of the keeper, Bonilla.
So the Panthers advance, and Queensboro will have to try to regroup ahead of the Region 15 tournament. It was their first tie or loss against a CUNY opponent this season. And no doubt about it, even if the second goal was not necessarily his, upon further video review, El Haji Adi Guy was most impactful tonight for BMCC.
Absolutely, he had a play and a part in every goal that BMCC put up on the board.
He made it 1-0 there. This one would skip through from Pavana, and Queensboro would have the tie. And then Gallardo off of a poor touch by Seydu. It will be 2-1 of the 67th. But then 30 seconds later, that's the head ball from Adi guy, might have been his, maybe not. And then he steps up in the bottom of the 4th inning to seal the victory for BMCC en route to being tournament MVP. And BMCC advances 4-2 in penalties. So the celebration is on, and the Borough of Manhattan shares a championship, but does add their 13th all-time community college title. For our entire crew, for our producer and director tonight, Dan Lippenholtz, for Carrie Gluck, my name is Ralph Binorchik saying so long and goodbye. You've been watching the CUNY Community College Championship match on Facebook Live.